You finished up the heist of Vela Station. Downloaded the data that you were looking for. We did that a little bit off screen. It just happened because at that point there was no way that the hacks were going to fail, and you'd wrapped up everything else. You resolved a little crisis where Eileen tried to outplay you, recognized that she was dealing with a teleporter and a group who disagreed with her decision to go down to the station, and pulled a gun on Myokin. She also had the detonator and had planted the bombs. She gave you 5 minutes, and you concocted something to disrupt the radio waves of the detonator. She still could have triggered the one right next to her manually, but that wouldn't have finished the job. All three needed to explode near around the same time as each other. So she conceded defeat and just waited for you guys to finish what you're doing. While you were finishing what you're doing, you ran into a couple of space zombies. There was some panic about whether they could possess you or not. And that seemed to get resolved. I can't remember if it got resolved out of character or in character. But
in character, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, great. They seemed pretty unconcerned with the whole affair, and just kind of figured that you were the new owners of the station. Only after you informed them that no, the station was going away, did they indicate that that's kind of a bummer, because they were here helping Union with how to shut down condensers. Researching how to shut down condensers. We, again, moved a little bit past the very end of there, so we're going to go back just a little bit so you can make a couple decisions. You have to decide what you're going to do with 2 space zombies. Are you going to leave them here to get exploded? Are you going to take them onto your ship? And I think that's where we'll pick up. Anything else? Anything that I missed in my recap?
I thought we already decided. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the consensus is already to just bring the space zombies with us.
Okay, okay.
The parasite thing
isolated in the brig for safety for now.
Yeah, the parasite thing also got resolved in character, because I remember them when I said, like, you know, well, we thought that your entire race were body snatching parasites, and they're like, oh, seriously? And I'm like, well, come on, that's all we meant. What were we supposed to think?
Well, and we also, I mean, we did notice that was no attempt to jump to us where they realized they were vacant. It was also they were 600-plus-year-old bodies when they could have all these other bodies around them. It's just like all the time that's true. They can't jump. Yeah, they either can't or won't.
And you know, at this point, one is about as good as the other.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to actually, out of character, I would like to. No, I'll raise it in character.
Okay. Well, let me bring you back over to the station. Have you finished up whatever you're doing with this? Whatever you're doing with this screen?
Has someone modified the number? Yeah, never mind. I'll do it this time.
All right.
A darker green, I think.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice.
There we go.
Okay, all done.
Maybe a little bit too dark, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm ready.
Did you just put another comma there?
No,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It's not one.
Oh, okay. And I'll also put you. Here are Prue and Rule. Space zombies.
Indeed.
Does anyone else hear Prue and immediately think of the Great British Bake Off?
No.
Probably just me. Maybe Ginja? I don't know.
No.
Definitely not me. All right, there was so You said there was something you wanted to do in character. Is it as you guys are finishing up on the station, or after you've gotten back on the ship?
After we've gotten back on the ship. What I would like to do in character, though, is note again, because I think it might get lost in the mix otherwise, that we were going to loot the storage vault and see if there was anything worth taking there, basically.
Ah, yes, you were.
With the explosive planted, we can probably bring Doug over, actually.
Yeah, well, I think that's why we talked about that, because y'all couldn't identify it.
Yeah, we tried.
And then we kind of ended up with more or less more time than we expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the only risk to us was the one security team that was trapped in one of the corridors.
Well, no. Once excuse me. Once Eileen's lockdown ends, the Eileen's lockdown isn't so much a timer on Eileen's lockdown. That's actually just kind of a blanket timer for about how long it's going to take the other 25 soldiers trapped in their rooms to have cut through with torches.
Oh.
Okay, that changes it slightly. I was under the impression that the timer didn't matter because we had initiated a more permanent lockdown in the meantime.
You did. It's the soldiers are scattered in rooms throughout the station, and they'll still have to deal with your locked doors, with the other locked doors in between. And so it's still going to take them time to get around to you. It's just not a situation where you have all the time in the world.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if there's, and I don't think there's any reason to. I don't think it's too big a deal either way because we've already come out of this more pre-tech overall.
Yeah, so we should still make sure that we don't take too long.
How about just do a cursory glance?
It's worth a quick look around. Go ahead and roll a int fix.
I don't think I ever used my reroll. Oh, nice.
Don't need it.
Indeed not. Oh, why is combat music playing?
Oh, it should be strategy music.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that is Mortal Kombat music.
Don't worry about it.
Let's do this one instead. There we go. Dang it! I played my hand. Now you already know about the giant, massive Kraken tentacle coming through the station.
Oh, I was gonna say I activated some pre-tech warbot.
I did think this was going a little bit too closely to plan.
Well, I'm gonna dash your hopes for unexpected robot combat. Nothing springs to life.
Oh, that was a fear.
All right, fear for you, hopes for viral. But the storage does have some valuable stuff, and also some things that look like they brought in some stuff that has pre-tech in it. They appeared to have been serious about whatever they were trying to research here. And so, among the bodies of the dead scientists and a couple of Union staff laying on the ground, you can certainly take your pick. Let me pull up the components sheet. Components. All right. We got 6, including SciTech, right? And so let's go ahead and roll roll 2d6 and give you a choice between the two. All right. Amp. Oh, our computing. Dang it! I was hoping not to roll computing. Because that's the one you want.
I mean, that's the thing. We don't need any now, anyways. Even with the one that we used.
True, but it's that you had to use a computing, and I wanted to actually be a cost.
Oh. Well, I mean, there was a cost. We're down one component that we would have had.
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that. All right. So.
In fairness, given what we used it for, I think it was quite worth it.
What we really need is conversion.
We basically traded a computing component for Eileen's life. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, you're right. It does negate our cost, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Because we wouldn't have had a chance to actually get that if otherwise.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's the way the rolls went and the skill check went. So Doug can get one of those two, amp or computing, with a cursory glance and a couple of minutes of prying and trying to yank one out. Obviously, Doug's not making the choice of whether it's amp or computing. You guys, as players, are. Which one do you guys want?
I'm not really keeping up on the pre-tech components, so.
Computing, because we already have 3 extra amps.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And computing makes a lot of sense for all the data analysis that they were trying to do here. So, you find here a lot of laser technology, stuff that can bring a space to goodness. Absolute zero is what the word I'm looking for. To absolute zero using pre-tech. It is, as someone suggested last time, very bulky, and there's a lot of it. It would take a lot to get it off the ship. It would take a normal salvage operation to get it off the station. Most of it is too heavy to be teleported. But you can certainly dig in, get yourself that computing component, and if you want to take more time, you could probably try at another, but you are hearing the sounds of people throughout the station.
I'm pretty close with just getting the one.
Okay. All right. And of course, it's not just getting to you that is the risk. It's also somebody getting into engineering and the reactor core, and being outside your immediate view. Well, I guess you still got people in the security office to see, but yeah, it's people getting into any one of those 3 rooms and either interacting with you or the bombs.
Interacting with us isn't too bad, but bombs would be pretty bad, yeah.
All right, you take your spoils and teleport back to the Raza. Nox, has Nox mentioned whether they're able to speak much during the session?
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Just hadn't heard your voice, except at the very beginning, I think. So I wanted to check to make sure that everything was okay there. So yeah.
Yeah. Work things had to come up, and then they will continue to come up, but I'm for the most part here.
Fantastic. So then Kana teleports, and is Kana okay with teleporting the zombies?
Yeah, there's not any problem with getting near them. Or are we still? Has that been lifted? I know we were told not to.
Yeah,
no, that's been.
I think we were pretty confident.
I think we're pretty confident, but at the same time, there's no point tempting fate. We have time to walk them back, right?
Oh, not really.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Upon realizing that, yeah, fuck it. I suppose they won't hustle, will they? Though.
I mean, again, they've been here with the union folks for a while now. With.
Yeah, I mean, we figured out the thing of the being locked into the dead body, right? So.
Yeah.
I think even if they wanted to jump, I don't think they can.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In that case, We will go for the teleport. Still being careful. Still being careful.
Okay.
And
All
assuming there are no problems, no, we'll go for that.
There are no problems with that. You make it back to the Raza, and Shadow. You've got people at the airlock to very quickly disengage, and then Shadow takes you off to a safe distance.
Mm-hmm.
The explosion is glorious. Are you sure you're not the GM viral? That was a very evil GM laugh.
Shrug.
Doug wipes a tear from his eye.
Yeah. You know, I like the mental image that Doug and Percy are both just like sitting there watching the explosion, both exulting in it for various reasons. And then Percy turns to Doug and he goes, "You know, we're back, and I'm still expecting something to go wrong. Like, it still feels like it went too smoothly."
Man, I don't know if that went smoothly.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I suppose the Union parts went smoothly. The Eileen parts, not so much.
Yeah, we managed, but yeah, I mean, that aside, aside from that and the entities unexpectedly, which wasn't too bad, everything pretty much went to plan, which feels weird considering how our plans normally go.
Yeah, well, maybe we should get out of the system just in case.
Yeah, I assume we're already working on that.
Shadow is certainly flying you to the edge of the system.
Yeah, let's get out of the system before we say everything went to plan.
Yeah. What's the current date? I've kind of lost that for a couple of sessions.
The current date should be because you had to slow travel to the station out there. The current date should actually be the 21st.
21st. Okay.
Wait, before we leave, actually, the characters talked about this in character like 10 minutes ago, so I assume they would remember. We said that we were gonna fucking do shit to make it look like Eileen went down in the explosion or whatever.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would. Percy and Dawson, etc., would remember it, even if I didn't until now.
Well, it's that, or we edit it to make it look like we executed her for trying to fuck us over.
Also works. Actually,
that paints us in a worse light.
Yeah, let's not go with that.
Okay. I did want to get a skill check from Vicky just to see how good her words, how good her graphics are as far as making it look like the camera's cut out because of heat and explosion instead of just getting cut by something else. Make it look as real as possible that Eileen was standing there, or that the explosion occurred while she was standing there talking to you. Or not talking to you. Yeah. While she was talking to you, because this is retroactive. So. She's trying to. That's another reason to make sure that nobody gets to the reactor core, is because then it would create an inconsistency in the timing of the explosion and when the video transmission ends. Or when they... So yeah, Das's part on this is very easy, but somebody go ahead and give me a proficient skill roll for Vicky, and apply any bonuses that she has for VR stuff to it.
Let's see, what bonuses does she have for VR stuff? It doesn't say.
Okay, it would be listed on her sheet then. Right, I haven't actually put anything up there for her. She is earning it. She is one of the crew that you promoted. You know what? Let me double check my document and see if I did write something for her already. I forgot about this also. All right, her name isn't Vicky. It's
Flavica Hart.
Flavica. Yeah. Also, she's not in alphabetical order because she was a new entry and I haven't re-alphabetized them yet. Okay, so here's the new thing that she gets for being a 2.
Okay.
And I'll consider that this an aiding check. So +2 to that, or did you include the +2?
Included it.
Okay, that's fine. It wasn't a more difficult than a 10 check. In fact, I would probably say that it is a 10 with the level of details you wanted to put in. So perfect.
Oof.
Yeah, we have pretty high standards for this.
Man, even even when it's not my character, I still just barely squeak through with the skill checks. The best.
The biggest difficulty, as she would say while doing this and being rushed, is that she's trying to create something in advance that will look right in real time and is needing to include some procedural generation as well as some AI to kind of tighten things up. And package that all into the feed that DAS is giving her, which is a very narrow data feed, so as not to look like there's something amiss. But DAS broadens up, gives her as much bandwidth as she can while trying to synchronize it with the station, with all the chaos in the station already. And Vicky fits it into that package, and you don't know on the ship because this is all private, encrypted communication from Vela Station to whatever assets they have on or at SOS. But this live feed, you as players know that it is a success and Eileen's not at risk. Characters don't know that. Vicky's pretty confident. And of course, Das. This was no sweat for her.
Das is Das.
Yeah.
Das is Das.
Das didn't actually have to roll.
Yeah. Well, it's like on Das's side, it's probably like, oh, it's kind of a hard hack. It's difficulty 8 or something, and then Das is just like, well, that's the minimum I can roll, so it's fine.
Yep.
I literally can't roll lower than an 8. And even rolling an 8 is like vanishingly unlikely. I think the chance of rolling a 10 is like 99 point something.
I mean, didn't you get an 8 last session?
Don't think so.
No, I think it was a 9.
Okay. I knew it was something like weirdly low.
And no, I don't even think it was that low.
I don't remember Das having a low roll anytime recently.
It was a 4%. Yeah. No, that was an 11.
Yeah,
that was an 11. Yeah. Like 4% to roll 11 or worse, right? To roll 9 or worse is 0.4%.
Yikes.
So, yeah. So like passing a difficulty 10 is 99.6%.
All right.
Passing a difficulty 12 is 96%. And I can pass a difficulty 16 half the time. Like, yeah, Das is pretty crazy hacking.
She is.
Yeah, but
yeah, we are pretty high level too, and you are dedicated to hacking. So,
well, indeed.
I think hacking's one of the ones that it's easy to hyper specialize in.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of
fairly easy
that boost it.
Yeah.
But then again, it also is the one thing that the system that has like reliably like high DCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nox, did you say something there?
I said we enjoy hyper specialization in this house.
We do. We do.
Pointing at piloting shit.
Speaking of hyper specialization, you've got a couple of new people on the ship that are hyper specialized in being old.
Yes.
Nice segue.
That is quite a segue, yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah.
Do you want to do anything as with them as you make your way back to the edge of the system? And funny turn of phrase there, you are making your way back to the edge of the system. To get to the edge of the system from where you are, you're traveling towards the sun.
Which, yeah, makes sense if the sun's not at the center of the system.
No, it just relates again how
so
far
far out.
outside this station is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Not sure what y'all think. I think let's give them like at least a little bit to get settled into the chess room.
Okay.
By the chess room, I mean we set up some chessboards in the rig, I think.
Okay, that was my first question. Is okay. What is the chess room?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it's a brig, but with a chessboard in it.
Not just with a chessboard. Like, well, fucking. If they're dead, then they probably don't have like much sensation.
Stools,
but,
a table.
like, they probably won't have much sensation. They won't need
It's like that, you know.
I don't know.
We used to say brig, but we stuck a thing that says chess over the top.
Yeah, no. My point is like I don't know if we would need to make it any more comfy for them to be, take it favorably. Honestly, I'm not sure if they need anything other than a chessboard there to for it to be favorable for them.
Yeah, I mean we give them, table, chairs, all of that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, obviously, yeah.
Well, your brig rooms are fairly small. You're trying to give them any more furnishing than it already has. Is going to be uncomfortably cramped. Maybe not for a zombie, but
I mean, you could just take out the toilet and the bed, right?
Drew, you don't need a toilet in the chest room.
They certainly don't need a toilet, no.
I was gonna say, I don't think they need a toilet anymore, do they?
But without making any major renovations to your brig, you can fairly easily fit an extra chair and a small table with a chessboard on it, and leave them just enough room to move around.
Seems good enough.
Okay. They are a little bit like traditional zombies in that they're not the most agile things. And so they may have some difficulty with the cramped quarters, the cramped spacing. But they're not quite as lurching. In fact, they're not lurching at all. They're just, they're like old people.
They're 600 years old. I think we can understand them not being quite as agile as they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I know people who are 60 who are not as agile as you used to be in the mid 600.
When do you put the force field up after you put them into the chest room?
Let's go with yes, so that they're not disturbed, and we'll see if they say anything about it.
They do.
Okay.
Prue kind of looks back. Prue sits with his back to the entrance to the room. Looks over his shoulder as the field comes up. That seems highly unnecessary.
Okay. Didn't want you being disturbed, but okay, we'll drop the field again.
Okay. Well, He doesn't say anything further, and they unpack the pieces and set them up. It just get to playing chess.
If we're not having them sort of essentially forcibly contained there, I do want to set something up, some sort of camera monitoring program that basically says if either of them leaves that, not like a whole, big noisy alert or anything, but if either of them leaves, I want a ping to all the bridge officers.
Okay. You can do that easy enough.
I feel like that's probably pretty basic for a brig. Hey, if the prisoners leave, I mean, obviously, even if we're not being prisoners, the program's probably already there.
Look, they're being checked into the brig. They are functionally prisoners for the purpose of if the prisoner leaves, alerts.
Yeah. All right. It's going to take double the normal time for traveling from one region to another. So
but we don't have to go slow anymore, right? So double the normal time is like double tiny, and then still quite fast.
Yeah, still quite fast. You don't have to go slow anymore.
Yeah. The other question is, where do we put Eileen? Like, just back in the room, or what?
Faces pod.
Like, I'm just saying, make sure there's nothing sharp in there, okay?
Just kidding.
Yeah. Did everyone kind of go quietly, or?
Meow can fade it out just a little bit, but I think we're otherwise fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm pushing the limit on my headset. I feed my cat. I was joking about just can we just throw in our stasis pod? No.
We probably could. We shouldn't, but we could do that. But we shouldn't. But we could.
Unless.
There isn't like as much of a point. Because her dying wouldn't do anything at this point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
It wasn't a she wants to die. It was a she wants to provably die on a Union station.
Yeah.
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 She wants to die in a specific circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've removed her from that circumstance, and therefore, probably safe.
Perhaps we should put her in touch with Riley for a consult on reconstruction surgery.
That is a point, actually.
Yeah. Since she seemed convinced that wouldn't work, but I don't.
Yeah.
Think she understands what we have at our disposal here.
Yeah.
Well, she was opposed to it without some other solution in play.
Yeah. The fake her death, yeah.
She does. This is a conversation that she has. If you want to put her in touch with Riley.
I think what we should do first is we should get Vicky or Das to let her know when the edited footage packet has been sent, and for all intents and purposes, she died on the station, except she's still here. Let her know about that, because I suspect that will inform her decision making somewhat.
Yeah, Vicky can demonstrate to her what it looked like, what the final result was, and Eileen is stoically impressed by that.
Yeah.
Restrained, impressed.
Yeah. Like she said it wasn't possible, and then we've proved it is, and she's like, okay. Yeah, it seems. I guess it's possible then.
Like, she's doing her best to not be obviously impressed by what we're doing, but at the same time, she's impressed by what we're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
And when it's suggested that she get reconstructive surgery, she agrees. She, unless you want to override her, she kind of takes control of the conversation at that point, though.
No, that's fair.
She tells you that she wants you to take her to La Miera and anonymously arrange a TL5 body sculpting with an unknown but competent cyberneticist.
Okay, if she knows a TL5 cyberneticist, then that's the main problem out of the way, so...
No. She wants you to find one.
She wants us to find one.
Yes.
Okay, Okay,
Yeah.
She does emphasize that... I'm sorry, what was that, Knox?
I said I was kind of like gonna suggest a thing, because if she ever goes through like a scanner, she'll like ping on like DNA stuff.
Oh, that's why the TL5 stuff.
Yeah.
That's why she's specifying TL5.
Yeah, that's why I'm seconding her thoughts on it.
Ah, gotcha. That's the part that I missed. Yes, yeah, that's what she's asking. She further adds that or emphasize that the doctor shouldn't be able to identify any of you, nor can there be any cameras which can identify her pre or post-op. So she's putting a tall order on you guys for saving her life.
I mean, I don't think that's terribly unfair. I mean, she was ready to commit suicide, and we're very insistent that she doesn't do that.
Yeah. Do we need to give her an answer for that right now?
No, we don't.
Okay.
She is anxiously awaiting that answer, though. Just confirmation that you're willing to do that.
Okay. In that case, I think the answer that we should probably give, if she doesn't want us to commit, like if she's not insistent on us committing to it right now, then we'll go with we can sure as shit try, but it's going to be a hunt. We don't know anybody like that. I think does that seem fair?
We can sure as shit try, but what?
We can sure as shit try, but we don't know anyone like that, so it's going to be a hunt.
Yeah.
Like we can't just drop her off and immediately shepherd her into this.
Yeah. Oh, she also asked that she be teleported into the appointment.
That's fair. Although I suppose whether it's actually fair is down to the teleporter.
Now, you don't have to give her an answer right now, but it is something that you'll need to resolve with her soon. She has no intention of staying on this ship.
That's reasonable. And I didn't expect her to.
Yeah. So sorry, Nox. She's not coming out. She's not gonna be getting paid to be on the Raza.
Wait, did Nox want her to be paid to? Oh wait, yeah, discussion.
I think there was a joke there about the surgery coming from her paychecks.
Yeah, there was. I just saw it there.
And if cost is brought up, she will say that that's not going to be a concern.
I want to ask. I'm not going to, but I want to.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to do before I put you at the horizon and ask you where you're going next? Chess.
Yeah, actually. I have a thought.
Okay.
I'm gonna round up the bridge crew, actually.
Okay. Let's take you to the ship screen.
I refuse to be rounded up. Just kidding. I'm fine. We Asta already left, right?
Yeah, Ass is gone.
Okay.
She left on the 8th from March.
Yes.
Now the
To go and
22nd.
See the aliens, right?
Yeah. I will. Is Das's orange box assumed to just be next to wherever else she's meant to be, or are we going to have other orange boxes that are near other things?
No, the orange box is the secret space.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So you should probably move to the bridge.
Yep. I'll put you between the boxes because that is, as we have noted, in the vents. Actually, no. This.
If there's an actual meeting, she's in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say.
She's not hiding in vents for meetings.
Yeah, I was just about to change my mind to no. Actually, I think I would bring you. Insist you come out of the vents for this.
All right. Do you want any of the NPCs there?
There's already a few NPCs there.
Right. Do you? Well, they were there in the box before you start moving people. Do you want to leave them there?
Intentionally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So the original 3, so to speak.
Yeah. Bridge crew. I mean, ignore the fact that one of them spends most of her time in the science lab. So bridge crew. But yeah.
Why have we called this meeting, Percy?
Because I've had a thought, and it's probably not. I don't know whether it's a good thought. Decent chance it's not a good thought, but thought nonetheless. Like, obviously, we need to talk to the fucking space zombies about it. But it kinda sounds like Union was trying to do something similar to what we're trying to do, which is, stop the end of the universe at the hand of the spooky psychic ghosts.
Or at least that's what they claimed they were doing, which don't know if we can trust.
Yeah. Like, I think this is serious enough to probably give them benefit of the doubt. Because, like, if they weren't, we're still on Union shit list. If they were, then we've just set them back hugely.
I had trouble trusting that a megacorp was looking out for humanity.
Looking out for their future profits.
I was gonna say, look out for themselves and their their cattle. That I'm more willing to believe.
Right, but who? I mean, is Union? I don't know. Union's not really renowned for safety first practices, are they?
No.
No.
And no, I don't know the story that we were told there. I mean, I guess the question is what's in the data, but them going in and yeah, sure, it's like, oh yeah, let's make this safe before we use it. I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't know. Like I say, I think this is, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just come out and say it. Do we go to the negotiating table, say, hey, let's work together, and give it back?
I'd like a little bit more concrete evidence of the threat.
I mean, we've had conversation about the threat from bad entities, quote unquote neutral chess playing entities, and Union themselves seemingly, obviously it depends what's in the data, but seemingly think it's serious enough to do what this kind of research to. And like, If nothing else, they think it's important. So if we can verify that they're not just doing it to, see, I do wonder because, Cassian seemed to be under the impression that they were researching 0-point infinite energy. So maybe he knows something we don't. We should ask him, or maybe that was just a cover story because that's another thing this can be used for.
All right. But I mean, I ain't saying take it off the table, but I'm not sure we take that approach yet.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I guess it's like a chance because we've set up a decent level of framework here, but we're still just one group and we're still looking over our shoulders at every port a little bit. And I don't know, this is one threat at least that we could potentially try and bury the hatchet with a bit because bigger enemy. So I think it could. God, I should have held off on this until we checked the data and spoken with the zombies.
Yeah, no, but you got a point though. Let's see how things shake out.
So
anyone else? Thoughts?
Acid chimes in. I can pull some of let's see, what crew do we have here actually? You haven't given her any science staff. Or any additional science staff, so
that, in fairness, that is a thing that we could like hire for.
Yeah, if you want scientific inquiry to move faster, sure.
Yeah. Has Acid given any indication of needing extra science stuff or wanting extra science stuff?
Oh, heck no.
There you go then. That'll be why she doesn't have any science stuff.
I'm sure she. I'm sure she'd be great if we got some trend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be very happy with that. She says that she'll work with Elise to rearrange the schedule of some of the more intelligent crew you have on the ship and put them to task with the schematics and the data that you've gotten.
Yeah, it would be good. As soon as you have like a rough idea of how long it might take to have looked at it all enough to say, okay, here's what's in there. Even if it's not in detail, not to hold you to it. And I know this kind of stuff is variable, but just like as soon as you can tell us, here's what we have, or as soon as you know when you'll be able to tell us, here's what we have, let us know.
She stands up and says that she'll get on right on that. And she is making for the exit.
Percy nods. I'll let her go.
Okay.
Yeah. I am not assuming like she didn't speak out against the plan. I am not assuming that means she's on board. I am assuming that means that she has opinions that she will share once we have more concrete information.
Let's see. What's she going to take?
Look, just be glad that it was Union that were looking into this and not Perimeter, or then we'd have no chance. For multiple reasons.
All right, those are the four that she is pulling aside for her lab work.
That works.
Was there anything else that you were talking about in this conference?
That was the main thing, but also while we're here, I'd like to talk about the zombies. How are we going to handle the question? Who wants to be there? What do we want to know? Like, now, even if it is obvious, we should still have a list, you know? I don't doubt they're going to come out with fucking weird, out of left field stuff that will distract us, but that's what the list's for.
Right. Oh, questions for the zombies. I don't.
Let's ask.
I don't really know where to start.
As players, as players, do you want to spend some time and make a list, or would you prefer to just play this by ear?
I wouldn't mind taking a bit of time to make a list, honestly.
How about the rest of you? Because we've done that a few times, and it sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking play it by ear personally, but I'm not super averse to a list. I just can't think of anything to put on a list right now.
Okay.
This interrogation / questioning situation is one that you can keep coming back to. It's not like you've got a prisoner for 1 hour that you like we previously had a list done because you had like a prisoner that was basically only going to be cooperative once, and I wanted to make sure you had the opportunity. This is one where unless you do
They're
something to really offend them, you can keep coming back.
Willing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm fine.
I guess one question is something about I guess something like factions, if they know it, or about the impatient, if they know anything about them.
Yeah.
How coordinated they are, maybe.
That's fair. Honestly, like Dex makes a good point about being able to go back. I'm fine going without the list when you look at it that way.
Okay. And the advantage with that is I could just answer your question about factions right now while your characters are in this conference and assume that it's something that somebody has asked already. So, do you want to continue on with your bridge crew meeting right here and just kind of intersperse some questions that you ask them?
No, I think that was the last thing we wanted for the meeting, honestly. That was the last thing I wanted for the meeting anyway.
Yeah,
well, then, I will
get more info.
What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, they disperse the meeting until we get more info, but certain.
Well, let me answer the question about the factions. They don't know. They've been floating around the graveyard for 600 years.
Okay. So do they, I guess, in that kind of same vein, are they aware of the impatient? Or they've been like, basically, I'm just curious if that was a thing in their time, so to speak.
The memory that they have of their time before they just kind of started floating was that no, there wouldn't be any such factions such as the impatient. Any entity that has that's not just trying to bring about the end of the universe is aligned with humanity and opposed to it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I guess like originally there's not really much the time scale they work on. It's yeah. Well, presumably. I don't know. I guess I'm also no. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Unless somebody else has anything.
Not for now. I would like to get the questioning of the zombies done before we go to the negotiating table with Union, though, in case we end up handing them back.
Yeah, I just don't think we should go to the negotiating table with the Union like in the near future. Like I think that's something to have on the plate for later, but I just don't think it's a next step thing. Like that's out of character. But...
Right. Then let's go ahead and is there anything else you want to bring up before getting to the edge of the system and me taking you over to the map page?
Not for me.
All right, let's go ahead and move you over there. No, because I'm just teasing you with that. I believe that's fine. I'll double check though. All right, map page.
I'm only asking because it sounds like the rules are only assuming that someone would ever use it like offensively,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just using it utility ways. I can achieve the same effect with burned apportation risk reduplication, but there's even less of a window for fuckery if I just never show up at the place.
Does offensive not require you to teleport with them too?
No.
I mean, I guess not.
Offensive you can if you want to, but it counts as burdened.
Gotcha.
Like effectively with offensive, it's like the target is the teleporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can burden
that's kind of a weird. That's kind of a weird gap. Then.
I'm trying to achieve a level 1 effect with the level 4 power.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah, because it does specify that a conscious resisting target can make a mental save. If they're not resisting, then they don't make the save.
Okay.
They will still automatically resist if it's dangerous.
Hey, have they formalized whatchamacallit? Crawford's said like, oh, he allows for intentionally failing saves, right? I think he has.
I mean, it specifically said the conscious resisting target can make a mental saving throw. Like it's an optional thing.
Oh, can. Oh, okay. Well, I just like a 5e basically made it official that you can choose to fail saves.
Touching a resisting enemy requires a punch hit roll.
Yeah.
So if they're not a resisting enemy and they're not a conscious resisting target, my reading says no checks.
Okay.
Obviously, Dex's reading is the one that's important, but
yes.
You know.
But that is also how I read it.
My reading says it works.
Sorry, was that Nox?
My questions are all towards the handling of the woman we just saved.
Eileen.
Because Eileen. Because as far as I'm aware, that will make her the first person that is outside of the Raza that knows about the teleporting.
I believe so, yeah.
That isn't part of like Shinobu.
Well, she's still on the Raza, and so far we don't have any plans to take her off the Raza.
I mean, we kind of do.
Well, she intends to not be here. So.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we literally do have a plan to take her to Lamiera and drop her off.
Oh, right. Never mind. No. Big on me. I definitely blanked on that very earlier.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't joking about it being part of our employment paperwork. But if she's not going to be here, then it needs to be impressed upon her that her information doesn't get out anywhere.
If she's not going to be here, is that why you're asking questions about offensive apportation?
Yeah. Because because she wants to be teleported out to the appointment, and that carries a very small amount of risk with risk duplication of showing up on camera or something. So if I can burden that board away, that's just a second less of extra person footage.
Okay.
Just doing thinking. Planning for eventualities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not planning to murder her as soon as she steps off the ship. You would never.
You say the only person. I'm pretty sure Lamier, or not Lamier, Mona, people there probably have a pretty good idea of that, though.
Yeah, like you say like it's a big secret, and then wear the uniform everywhere. Like anyone that can read the uniform.
Oh,
yeah, there's that.
There's also that. Yeah, wait a second.
It's like, yeah, it's secret.
I'm just not so sure. I'm not really sold on this secret.
It's a secret, but you're wandering around wearing the uniform. It's like,
actually,
is it a secret though?
As of hitting 9, it's the uniform has changed.
Oh.
I made mention of it somewhere. It just wasn't a big deal.
Oh, is it?
Have you
got like meta scion or something as well?
I've just removed markings.
Right.
I did not recall that either, but that makes sense.
It was really weird you left him there for so long.
I feel like at this point I've earned my ninja stripes.
I don't know. I remember you rolling a questionable stealth check not like 3 sessions ago.
This is true. However, you can just be on the planet when we leave the next planet.
Okay, I don't know why I had the grid lines set. Here we go. No more grid trying to snap the rods on top of a thing. So, where do you want to go? I mean, there's not that many places you can go. Technically, you could jump backwards to Ozzy so that you could do a 3-point jump to Gun.
Yeah, but realistically, I think. How do we feel about heading back to March to report into Cassian and/or Zoe, and/or deal with the Eileen thing?
You're going to Algermer, right?
Which is along the way, or it's almost along the way.
Yeah.
Like look. Like
I think if we were gonna go to Aldrimer from here and plan out the jumps.
Right.
Like
in my head,
March.
Sorry. In my head, I thought we were for some reason in the top of the sector.
We are not.
I don't know why.
We are not. No, we are where the Raza marker is, which makes sense when you think about it.
Yep.
How far along Vicky's gotten? You guys continue. I'm going to count that.
We've got like Subnautica type music again.
We have.
I think it's the same music as it's been every time I've said that, but
it is.
Every time this comes on, it's just like, oh, Subnautica music. It's not, but it really sounds like it.
Yeah. I know. Subnautica is like equal parts this and electronic music. I feel like.
Yeah, the calm bits are like this.
Yeah.
It's like the main theme.
Yeah, it's like half this and half worryingly upbeat electronic music.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the music got intense. What's chasing me?
Yeah. Or alternatively, you hear a Reaper Leviathan roar from a quarter of the way across the map, and you're like, oh shit, he's right there, and he's not.
Yes. Or in my case, with a bunch of mods, I hear a Reaper Leviathan roar, and it's like, oh god, where did they make one spawn now?
Yeah. Jokes aside, though, do we have anywhere that we want to go before March, or any reasons why we shouldn't go to March?
I will throw in, just to move things along, that you've already plotted a course from Gun to March and from March to Holau. So that is actually a route that is going to take less time because it takes less fuel and less traveling in stellar space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's worth, when we do the blind jumps that we do, it's worth trying to keep it connected to other jumps we've done. So I think, like, we could theoretically do like a 3 hex to Moran and then a 3 hex to March or something, but I think it's actually better to do 2 to Gun and then hop on our existing network of 3s to continue on.
That seems reasonable enough.
also makes tracking it easier for me because I don't really have to worry about, all right, they did this one here, but have they done this one in the last few months? Yeah. All right. So using dotted for these, create route, and you had one from gun. Or oh, that's a 4-hex jump. You did a gun to March.
Did we?
Probably. I mean, as we did, but
I don't remember in all honesty.
I mean that line's your color, so I assume we did.
It is my color, yeah. All right, I've added it to the sector map also.
When we did it.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So, jump to gun requires no real effort, no skill checks, I don't believe. Yeah, it's less than 10. Your jump from gun to march. Let me do these in order here. So I keep forgetting. Do you have fuel bunkers?
We don't.
You don't. Okay. Every jump is a refuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should probably fix that at some point.
Oh, I should also fix the weapons. You've got.
We have the main gun and a phase charge cannon.
A main gun and one phase charge cannon, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. There you go. All right, so it takes 6 days divided by drive level effectively is 5 because of Myokin, and then because Myokin also half that time. So 0.6 days once you actually reach the SOS horizon to jump over the gun. And the difficulty for a 4-hex jump, once you've plotted the route, because you've already plotted the route, I should say, is 7 plus 2 for 2 hexes, so it wouldn't even be difficult enough to require a roll. You can trim the course, making it +1. Still doesn't even require a roll, and because you've got a rudder within the last month, it's -2. So it's 8. Doesn't require a roll from Myokin.
Nice.
It does take some time at gun to go basically inland and refuel. So let's see. I'm racing against Asta right now. I determined that she arrives on 6:28, and I want to see who actually gets to Eargargy first.
Yep.
I do.
Do we want to just show up and just like?
Hey, did you want left? Did you want left? Oh, you got Eargargy up there. Yeah. No,
did we? What's it called? Trim the course.
Yeah, the 0.6 days is including trim the course.
Okay.
That was from SOS to gun. I'm still tracking my time here. All right, you reach gun. Refueling gun. And
you said she arrives on the 28th. What's the current date?
you reach gun on the 23rd.
Okay.
It takes you 9.6 hours to get to the fuel station, and 9.6 hours to get back to the horizon. So basically, it takes you 1 day to refuel in gun. It wouldn't take you actually haven't. No, I haven't established a border or a horizon refuel station in March. So it would take. It's gonna take basically a day anywhere that you need to refuel.
We gotta get that into jump energy.
The jump. Wait, what? How is that possible? Yeah, I think I did something wrong here.
That is currently our biggest time loss.
Oh, I did do something wrong. I only counted 1 hex when I said it took 0.6 days. That's fine. I had just ticked over a day anyway, so whether it's 0.6 days or 1.2 days, it still ended up being a day. Alright, it takes 2.5 days to go from gun to march. It is now the 26th. You're at the horizon of, at March horizon. And, yeah, so she is actually going to reach her destination before you would have gotten her there. Asta made a good call. And I guess that's why you like her, right? She's smart.
SMRT smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the zombies come up while you were jumping around? Did you just want to talk to them? They have stories to tell if you like.
You know what? Yeah, we could do that. Like, we don't need to immediately launch into an interrogation. Let's just talk for a bit.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? Are any of us any good at chess, like whatsoever?
Oh, that's a good question. Does anybody want to play chess with them, whether you're good or not?
It seems plausible that Das would be not terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Like the intelligence level plus, I would assume growing up on Nalivarmita, like things that don't take power are much easier to keep working.
Sure.
I think it's plausible that she's played before and is smart enough to sort of figure things out.
Right, let's see. Skills.
Not that she'd remember it, but you know.
It's also a fun puzzle to figure out to try and work this out for them. So, barring any other relevant skill, I think this would be just a flat intelligence check. If somebody had specific knowledge of chess, like if that was actually written into their background, I would probably let them roll no for it. But nobody here has had a background as a known chess player. So
you didn't see that part in Dogs where he's a chess grandmaster?
I did forget to write that in. I'm sorry.
Did they have chessboards in the jail before you blew it up? Wait, no, you didn't blow up the jail, did you? You blew up something to get into the jail.
All the other government buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was probably a chessboard in one of those.
Yeah. In fact, I can see opportunity for most of the Vacant characters to have played chess except for Percy.
See, I was busy being one of the chess pieces.
Yes, you were. So yeah, go ahead and roll a flat intelligence skill check for Das.
Is there a sheet way to do it, or am I just rolling a 2d6 plus?
There is. Go ahead and just set your work skill to 0 and roll it that way.
Oh, it is. It already is 0.
Oh,
So.
well then, okay, yeah, roll that then. Oh, that's not a bad roll.
Yeah.
I'd go so far as to say it's a good roll. Oh my god.
Yeah, but they have almost DAS hacking levels. Like,
Oh my god.
That's almost DAS hacking levels.
I do love
I
that
have to
skill.
ask, how long has the chess zombie been a thing? Did you just do this last week, or
No, that was written into them from the start.
Oh my god.
I will say that is possibly my favorite skill description I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like the thing is, right? Okay, Prue has been playing chess for 600 years.
Mhm.
He rolls a worse check than Das is hacking on chess skill checks. Das has not been hacking for 600 years.
The kind of systems Das is hacking have not been around for 600 years.
Well, indeed. Yeah. But like that check plus 1 is Das's hacking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was part of the original conception when I decided what Union was finding out there is zombies playing chess.
Yep.
Oh dear.
So, Rule is happy to chatter away while Das is playing chess with Prue. Prue's not, overly like. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't make a big deal of it. On checkmate, he just announces checkmate and waits for Das to confirm. And once she has, he begins moving pieces back to starting positions.
Yep.
In the meantime, Rule will talk about how they've finally given up the name of their host, putting them to rest, so to speak, although he notes that it is more of a symbolic gesture. Their hosts have been dead for a very long time. I'm going to pause here because these zombies are more comfortable speaking Russian. Does Das speak Russian?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I find the languages. No, I only speak Spacer.
Okay.
Yeah, there aren't really any easy ways to finagle around that apart from have a translator or speak Russian in the first place, are there?
Not really, no.
What was the penalty for the translator torque? It was like -2, right?
It's a -2 for the translator torque, yeah.
So would have been nice.
They can speak mandate, which would be British English. Spacers have no real difficulty understanding modern British English, although he will have difficulty understanding Das speaking Spacer. So, if you want to make this as easy as possible, a translator torque for Das would be the way to go.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think they have one, so.
Yeah, you've got a ship locker.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't have that, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's a very common language.
Yeah.
Not being able to speak Russian was the main reason that I didn't insist on PRC being there. So.
Okay. No. Anyone that wants to can.
Yeah, I'd be okay with going along and just listening because can't really speak future Russian, but.
All right, so bearing in mind that this is all in Russian from them, translated through your translator torques into whatever language you've set the torque to, The basic that you get from Rule is that their hosts were military soldiers. He mentions that doesn't remember much of them. Their memories are weak and leaking, but that they can recall a long, abiding feeling of sadness and hopelessness. This is a little bit of banter between Prue and Rule, where they disagree on why their human hosts held so much distrust in their leaders. They were either very costly, corrupt mismanagement, according to Prue, or well-intentioned mistakes, according to Rule. But they don't get into a heated argument over it. They both concede that they just weren't close enough to know the truth, because their hosts were just soldiers, and they only have their hosts fragmenting and leaking memories by which to judge. But that was a fairly pervasive cultural personality among the humans of the Mu Council. That there's sadness and hopelessness and distrust in leaders. Another tidbit that Rule shares without prompting, just as he's kind of rambling along, is that they both really want to return to the Infraworld, but they're willing to wait because they are sympathetic to human existence.
Right.
Prue notes that it doesn't really matter anyways, because it's very likely that conditions are going to deteriorate and they can eventually just slip from their hosts.
So it's not a literal eternity.
If that beggars any inquiry prompts or questions, they will actually give a little bit more specific on that.
Yeah, Percy will, in very halting Russian, I guess, because of the translator talk. Does translator talk, is it listen only, or does it let you speak?
It lets you speak also.
Okay, in relatively halting Russian, Percy will ask, like, would just going back to the Infraworld let them out of their bodies, or how would they get
out? This is coming from Rule again, that if they get near enough to a portal, then they can just leave the body and go back to the Infraworld.
Okay.
Well, not near enough, but if they get into the area of a portal, they can leave their body. But they can, at that point, they can only go back to the Infraworld. They can't just jump to somebody else unless they come back in through the portal. Which is a complex kind of situation for them. Rule thinks that the humans will overcome this threat and build a portal for their return, for helping. Prue is more skeptical and thinks that it's just the end of this universe eventually, and they'll get to go back anyways.
Yeah. Naturally, we have a... Actually, is Das asking any questions or talking, or is she doing her best to desperately try and keep her head above water at chess?
I think she's probably like recognizing very quickly that she is very outmatched here. But she is still putting effort into not completely losing immediately. Like, she can see where the game is going to end up. She's absolutely going to play to delay that as long as possible. Keep in the fight, just try. So I think she probably starts off with like the first few moves she's talking. After the first like 5 or 10, silence. She is completely focused on the game.
Well, to add a little character, hold on to that question, Viral. To add a little bit of character to their play, there is one point where Das is setting up very well, and Prue seems to be ignoring the setup. And then he seems to have created a design with his pieces, and he states gravelly, checkmate. Das's king is nowhere near under threat. He clarifies.
It's going to be like checkmate in 10 moves or something.
Nope, he declares.
That was the design.
It is a checkmate by smiley face.
That sounds like a house rule.
Yeah, it really does.
There's a little bit of confusion when Das doesn't grumble agreement, and there's a little bit of banter between the two of them about maybe they don't know this version of chess. And yes, they have been playing chess with some variant rules. They're clearly very competent at the base rules, but Das must have missed some indication because she doesn't, she doesn't have their nonverbal communication between them. At the beginning of the game, where she was supposed to play for artistic effect.
They've been playing for 600 years with just each other. There's got to be house rules.
Yeah, fair.
I threw into ChatGPT what could I expect from people who've been playing chess for 600 years, and
silly house rules.
Yep. Here's chess variants. They might invent entirely new forms of chess to escape the stagnation of draws. Examples could include expanding the board, adding new pieces, or modifying rules. Unusual endings. Over time, they might pursue artistic or symbolic outcomes, such as games ending in elegantly constructed stalemates or rare underpromotions. For example, promoting to a knight for a unique checkmate.
Which is a very rare thing. A knight is the only thing that there is any use case for promoting to other than a queen in normal chess. And it's a very narrow use case. But there's a use case for it.
Oh yeah. Being able to jump over pieces is a fairly big advantage.
It's not just that. The knight is the only it's the only piece that can get to a square that a queen can't cover if it was on that same square.
Yeah. There are like actual use cases for rook and bishop, but they're much rarer.
Yeah, so
typically it's like if you promote to a queen, then you get stalemate, but if you promote to a rook or bishop, then you don't, and then can go for checkmate.
Right.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so some of the games that have been closer in how Das played, looking back, yes, they did do an unconventional promote and then checkmate with that promoted piece.
Yeah. Basically, Prue is so much better than Das at chess that Prue is just like having fun with it and just like doing silly things and still just winning with no competition. Yeah, that fits.
I was initially thinking, it's like, oh, maybe it's some meaningful design.
Yeah, it's a smiley face.
Yep.
So that's meaningful to some people.
All right, Viral, do you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, what I was saying was because what was it? Prue said something about we don't need to worry about the portal, getting a portal home. We can go back at the end of this universe. Percy will chime in something to the effect of, well, we still have quite an attachment to this universe, so Hopefully we can get you a portal.
Waves a zombie hand and then moves a pawn. Yeah. Take your time. We have all the time in the world. And Roll wheezes out a cackling laugh at that.
Mm.
And then he unnecessarily adds, literally.
Mm. Let me think. So, how did they find interacting with Union? Like, how was it for them?
Well, they say that interacting with the one that they call Mr. Jack was confusing at first because Mr. Jack was clearly wearing a female outfit. But that despite some obvious suspicion about what they're saying, seemed to decide to take them seriously. And once Mr. Jack had set down the law of that, these are honored guests and nobody's to disrespect them, Union were perfectly fine with them. They were very amiable. Some didn't talk to them because, they know what they look like. But otherwise, they just left them alone and utilized what expertise they have available.
What expertise they had available?
Yeah, they admit that they're not the greatest help. They don't have any actual real technical knowledge of the condenser or anything. They just know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, from what we heard, and Ginja, feel free to jump in at any point, like between Das getting hammered in games of chess where she can actually spare enough brain power to speak up. Yeah, Percy will.
I was gonna say, they are aware of the danger of the condensers, though. Right.
Yeah, Percy will weigh in with words to the effect of, as far as we know, like obviously we're finding, like we're just looking around finding remnants of what they may have known at the time or what the hosts may have known at the time. But as far as we know, it's like tiny holes into the dimension where the entities come from, and we think it's something. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dex. We think it's something similar to the metaspace that we use to, like, that spike drives use, and so maybe like one of the functions of the condenser was that people would be able to draw energy out of that dimension, which, free source of energy, which is what we thought Union was trying to do in the first place without knowing about entities, which is why we came there looking for trouble.
Yeah, well, that actually raises. So, did they warn Union of the danger of the condenser, or was Union already aware?
Yeah, that.
They warned Union of the danger of the condenser.
Okay.
So
and hold on, there's a couple things in there. First of all, on the description of poking holes in the universe, Prue gets a grunt of approval from Prue and a comment from Rule. First person he's ever heard to get that right. And when Percy says that it's kind of like the infraworld is kind of like metaspace, he gets a grunt of disapproval from Prue and a shake of the head from Rule.
Oh.
One for two.
And in fairness, if you ask me to compare existence to not existence, I wouldn't be able to put it into words. So I probably shouldn't ask what's the difference. And also, and Percy taps the translator torque, might not understand it anyway.
Well, as best as they can. You've also got you do have a couple people on the ship that can speak Russian, so they can kind of keep things straight for you. Help clarify things that didn't quite get translated right. Because yeah, this is getting into a fairly technical area, which the translated torque isn't supposed to be able to handle. It's supposed to be simple, quick. It's to distinguish it from modern technology, which can largely do the same today. The translator torque is advanced in that it effectively is an earbud. You don't even hear the Russian spoken. You just hear in that person's voice or an approximation of it the language that you've chosen. So it's not even like you're hearing multiple lines. You are actually just hearing their spoken in your language. Sorry, I didn't need to go into that detail. I just thought it was a interesting tidbit.
Relevant enough.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, you've got other people here that can help clarify some of the more complex things that the translator's torque can't cover. And the clarification that they make is that metaspace is nothing like the infraworld, in that metaspace is, by their understanding of what the Union soldiers have explained to them, well, not Union soldiers, but Union scientists, is just space with more dimensions. And the infraworld is everything and nothing.
I mean, I guess if the infraworld was like metaspace, then the infradrive would be like a spike drive, and it's not.
Yeah, that's actually a fantastic point. Percy turns to Das then, and just like looks concerned, as if a thought has just occurred, and then goes, "You think the infodrive is at risk of letting entities through in the same way that the condenser is? Infodrive, transport, condenser, energy." Shrugs. Fuck.
Have to look into it.
Fuck. Okay. Oh, side note. We, and this addressed back at the zombies. Is there anything better than entities that we can call you? That was how we heard your kind referred to in the documents that we found. So it's become the shorthand because we didn't know what else to use. Is there a different term, or?
Well, the Moo call us the Iden. That's IDEN. And you did see that in the documents. It is infradimensional, ectoneural, and then entity. They call them Iden entities.
Okay.
Which is very close identity.
Identity, yeah. Yeah. And they'll just ask, yeah, but that was another thing someone else called you. Is there anything you call yourselves apart from just your individual names?
People are called Vega, and I should clarify. He comes to the term people after some hesitation and mulling over the correct word to use.
Okay.
There is some clarification made here that they recall that the people are the infra-world entities like themselves, not like other entities from the infra-world, are called Vega, and that those specifically aligned with the Moo Council were called Iden, which sets off a little disagreement about how Iden have always been aligned with humankind. And the opposing side of that is, well, then why were there two names for us?
Mm.
You can give them another name, the patient.
Yeah, I'll let them talk it out and see what consensus they come to, I guess.
They don't really come to one. They just kind of leave it.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Percy will like think for a little bit and then just raise the point that, you know, if the infraworld is, as you say, everything and nothing, it stands, when you think about it, it stands to reason that some of the Dex, correct me quickly, the Iden are what we would recognize as the hostile entities?
No, the Iden are the good entities.
Okay, and the Vega are the hostile. Was I specific?
The Vega is overall.
Okay,
right?
And the Iden are the good ones. Okay.
And I think we've heard the name. We've heard impatient before, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, Percy will say that when it comes to, like, when you think about the Everworld being everything and nothing, makes sense that the impatient who come from there and have lived in that, when they come here, would see this as being like infinitely less real, and therefore not have qualms about taking advantage of it, taking over people. We're only in 3 dimensions, you know. Makes a kind of sense, I guess. But
Is that only because you want to see if we can beat Asta there?
We can beat Asta there.
I will say,
that's not where we're going.
You have reached the March horizon on the 26th. You still have 10 hours travel to get fuel, and 10 hours travel to get back, plus however long you ended up spending talking to Cassian or handling Eileen's stuff. You've got a leeway of 1 day. I believe if you went straight, well, if you sacrificed things and did things, I'll leave it there. Wow, I did not think I would get any tension out of what do you do with Eileen here.
I said we'd be there to pick her up when she got there. I really want to have meant that.
Wait, I don't understand. What about Eileen? What?
In Asta?
No, Eileen.
Oh.
Eileen is causing tension with what Nox wants to do.
Oh.
I mean, Eileen was only part of the reason that we wanted to go back to March.
That's true. All right, fair.
Dolores as well. Dolores were actually the first thing I mentioned.
But I think the conversation with Cassian and Zoe, if you have it with both of them, will take less time than trying to meet Eileen's demands.
Fair, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, back to the zombie.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up conversation with the zombie, and then after you're finished with that, we'll go ahead and take a break and come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe I was waiting on the zombie to reply.
Shoot. What was the question?
Basically, we're only in 3 dimensions. If entities that come from all and none of the dimensions come here, we are like basically unreal to them, which kind of explains why they just kind of do what they want with the universe, or try to.
Well, this causes a little bit of consternation between them, because that's not quite the right description for them either. It seems like this is tugging at some old memory.
Not the right description for these two, but then basically the first thing that I said to these two was, wait, no, you're not like every other member of your kind that we've met.
Right. The contention that they're having is the description of the Infraworld as being all dimensions. You know what? Let me just roll a skill check for them real quick.
That was my understanding of what they said before. I don't know if I misheard it, whatever.
Well, that's a fair interpretation of what they said. I will.
Okay, they're just being particular.
As a GM, I'm going to tell you that they're unreliable narrators.
Yeah, I was going to say, does an extra-dimensional entity inherently understand their own
extra dimensionality?
Yeah.
Yeah. Call. Doesn't matter if he's proficient or not. Okay. They're not able to resolve this. They feel like calling the Infraworld all the dimensions is wrong, but they can't articulate or reason why.
Okay.
And to Meowkin's point, there are some clues in here that, yeah, their method and mode and mentality of thinking is a little bit different. One of those clues, I'll just bring this out, would be that their idea of the passage of time is a bit skewed. They don't really see 600 years as a meaningful measurement of time.
Not that it's not that it's a short amount of time. It's just that the time doesn't have meaning to them necessarily. Like it's not necessarily they just have a long view. That's what that's how I'm interpreting it.
It's not a meaningful measurement.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me think that they just sort of don't have a conception of time, which makes me wonder, is like causality itself something that is not really a thing over there? Is it something interclimatized to over here? Wild.
Oh. Did I still answer your question?
I
can't remember if I got it sidetracked or not, if I actually answered it.
I think you did, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah,
okay.
Because basically what I was saying was like they come from a universe that's different enough and higher enough, I guess, that they don't see anything wrong with doing what they're doing here. Right. And then you were like, is it higher? Is it different?
Right. And the other clue that you have is that you can see, like, they can press their entity self against the bounds of their body and their host and create light. Your equipment still cannot see it. It is not detectable by anything, any physics-based mechanism, but you can see it with your eyes. Unless you have cybernetic eyes.
Yeah, so I can't.
Right.
But yeah, I think that is something that I may ask about as well, actually. Just something to the effect of, like, did Union figure out that their technology can't see the light of the Vega?
Yes, and they said that they were trying to figure out how to. That was a puzzle that Mr. Jack prioritized. Is determine how this otherworldly presence can be detected.
I'm trying to remember. Can Libra see it?
Don't think so.
Libra cannot.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not just a consciousness thing, like out of character. So it's not just a consciousness thing because we know that they considered Libra a viable target for possession, meaning that she's sapient, but also she's mechanical, so can't see them.
Yeah.
And Cyber Eyes on a sapient also prevents it.
I guess that makes sense if you're cyber. If Fake Eyes
exempt for the same reason Percy is.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know, you got mechanical eyes. Doesn't matter what's inside; it's the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, it matters what's inside as well. You know, if we put organic eyes on a robot, it probably wouldn't work.
That might be something Riley's interested in.
We don't know. I don't know. But like, my guess would be you need a full organic pathway. But I don't know.
Your medical scans can turn up that the things that they're doing, like when they move their zombie bodies, they are utilizing the body's neural network, the entire nervous, well, not nervous system, but you know, the nerve network is what I'm trying to say.
Right. There's one other thing that I wanted to ask. It doesn't sound like they're like showing a exasperation or upset at the barrage of questions in probably poorly worded Russian, and so.
They're fairly. Prue is more stodgy about it, but Rule is amiable.
Prue is probably more stodgy about it because he's trying to play chess at the same time.
No, he's just a grumpy zombie.
In fairness, by zombie standards, he's very sociable.
That's fair.
He is more sociable than most zombies that we know.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that I will ask then is, I'm curious to know what they make of this, because some members of our crew, there is a technology that allows for someone's memories to be removed from their mind and put into a device. They can potentially access the memories and retrieve them later, but it's quite a chaotic process. But when we have met the impatient before, the people who had their memories removed, even though they started creating new memories and even accessed a few of the old ones, the impatient were still unable to jump into them, but they didn't consider them valid targets and immediately identified them as vacant, whatever that means. We took it as an advantage at the time, but yeah, basically, what's up with that? Thoughts?
Well, I kind of mull over the word vacant and its various meanings in Russian and English. They haven't seemed to indicate that they recognize or sense anything different about you guys, but you also know that they are in a more limited form than the impatient you met.
Yeah, they're kind of locked in. To their bodies, I mean.
Do any of you want to get real close to them and see if they can sense you?
Yeah, I don't know if I would think of it independently, but like, if they ask, then yeah. Although admittedly, Das is sitting across the table from Prue and she's vacant.
Yeah, they don't ask. Does anybody suggest it on your side? Apparently, Das isn't close enough for them to sense anything different about her.
I didn't think of it myself, therefore Percy doesn't suggest it.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of closeness, I think it's plausible that after like completely losing the first game, Das would have gone for a handshake.
Okay. That's still
good game.
Still didn't trigger anything.
Okay.
Their sensory range, as far as whatever the impatient was detecting in you guys, is very limited, if not non-existent. And remember, I can't remember the guy's name. It's probably like Lure or something else that sounds like all the other Vega names.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blur.
He also didn't know, like at a 10-meter distance that you're vacant. It wasn't until you got within approximately handshake range, I think it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to be closer to him before he could smell that you were vacant, so to speak.
Wait, didn't he say over a didn't he refer to us as vacant over a video message because it made us decide who to take down?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
At least not before getting close, at least.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, if he did, that was definitely a mistake. They cannot see that over video.
Okay, yeah.
I think maybe we'd interacted once and then we were going back and we decided based on that.
Oh, you had already interacted with the human that he was possessing before ever finding out that he was possessed.
Right. With that being said, them not being able to see it over video also feels like part of the same puzzle as you can't see you can't see Vega through mechanical eyes. They can't see
biological only.
Vacantness, I guess.
Any machine in the way, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Feels kind of quantum of like, if you've got a machine observing it, then it's not there.
Unless it comes to possession, in which case machine isn't the boundary. Which I suspect there is a real answer, and it may be neater than this, but I think it's possible that it's just that, like, for sensory stuff. Like, for sensory stuff both ways, then machines disrupt it. However, their possession is not a sensory effect. It's a soul effect or something.
Yeah, that's plausible. Yeah.
I don't know how this fits into your theory, but also note that the eyes that are contained within those zombie skulls definitely cannot see anything. Those are not functional eyes. They move a little bit as part of being expressive, but they're not seeing the chessboard with eyes.
Okay. It would lend credence to my theory then if we tried to show them a video and they couldn't see it. But I don't think like this is out of character, so I don't think Percy's thinking about that in the moment. Perhaps later. But yeah, the vacant thing, I'm curious to hear if they have any thoughts on that beyond mulling over the various different definitions of vacant or whatever.
They don't. It doesn't really have any meaning to them.
Okay.
But so that you're not walking away from that with no answer, let's just roll a die here.
I mean, I'm happy to keep asking questions around the topic until I get an answer. until something clicks.
All right. Well, then actually, let's, instead of just making it a random chance, why don't you roll me a connect? We're just basically using this as a luck check, using your connect skill as an indication of Percy working around to something. And yeah, through the course of this conversation, somebody gets close enough that Rule has a reaction. Who gets close enough to trigger this?
The next thing that I was gonna ask was about like circumstances in which Vega wouldn't be able to jump into someone. Like, not just this specific circumstance, but circumstances in general. I don't know, like, if that's related, then I think that might be what triggers it. If it's not, then probably not.
That's not what triggers it.
Okay.
I think this would be a casual interaction. Because it feels to me like the line of questioning has gotten to a point where it feels like they just can't sense that you're vacant. And so, as a casual interaction, who all's here? Let's put you back over to the ship screen.
Me, Das, and someone that can speak, at least one person that can speak Russian.
Yeah, that's the minimum. But I think we can. It depends how cramped it is,
Yeah, it's
a small area, right?
It is a pretty small area, yeah. Oh yeah, there is a brig. Right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You know what? I trust Dima, and I feel like this is kind of union relevant, so let's rope him in as a Russian speaker.
Sure.
He's been around for long enough. I trust him.
And Dima is also a well-connected person, but Dima's also not vacant, so it's not very good for your test.
I don't know. Having a non-vacant and a vacant both there is a pretty good test, I think.
Actually, that does work perfectly for me. So funny enough, the reaction that occurs when Dima gets within centimeters of one of these things, he's just moving in to clear out some stuff that they don't need. He's removing the toilet paper and he has to brush past them, and Rule kind of stands up straight and looks at him, and then looks at the rest of you. Those expressive but glazed over eyes arch what they can of their eyebrows and say, "You're living." In surprise.
Yeah, that's what the other one was talking about as well. That's what they meant by vacant, I think.
Oh, you're alive humans. I thought you were androids or robots.
Oh. I mean, we have an android on staff who they didn't consider vacant. Shall I call her? Percy will actually ping Libra down to the brig.
Is that what means vacant? Is this living human here? Kind of crooks a finger at Dima.
Yeah, Dima is a living human who never had his memories ripped out and stuck into a little device, leaving him with no memories.
He's asking if Dima is what you mean by vacant.
No, the opposite.
No,
in fact.
No, Dima is not vacant.
Then is vacant the robots? Which of you are robots?
None.
So, I am not a robot. Percy will gesture to Das. Das is not a robot. We'll gesture to Dima. Dima is not a robot.
Okay.
However, me and Das have had our memories removed and put into the devices like I told you about earlier.
While Percy is talking, Rule stands up and lumbers over to him awkwardly, getting right up in his face.
Yep, Percy just maintain eye contact.
Wait. Yeah. Kind of almost sniffs. It's like he's making a motion as if sniffing, but he's not actually trying to draw in air if he could.
Yeah, he's sensing something. He's sensing, yeah.
He's sensing, and he backs off after a moment. We're also living, but vacant.
As I said earlier, me and a few other people on this ship had all the memories removed, put into the QED devices. As far as we can tell, that's the only thing that the vacant have in common that everyone else does not. Dex, let me know when Libra arrives, by the way.
Oh, you did end up calling her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's the only thing that we have in common. And as you say, vacant. You can sense something now, right? That was what the other Vega recognized and makes us immune to being hosts.
You have... Your brain pan has leaked.
Yeah, that's not terribly inaccurate.
Not entirely inaccurate. Yeah.
And
in fairness, there's I've had a colourful history. There could be other reasons my brain pan is leaking. You should check Das.
Oh. Well, Rule gets uncomfortably close to Das.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Remember, these things do look creepy.
They're zombies.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry about that, but just I've had enough head trauma. It could be unrelated.
Yeah, let's Oops. No, I didn't want lock position. Come on. Advanced. Set dimensions. Bam.
That's large. And it's got a menacing border as well. I like it.
And in charge.
Eh.
Well, there, yeah, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, comes away with the same conclusion. Brain pan has leaked. Vacant is a very good word for it. In so many languages, and he says it in a couple other languages. Just a couple more though.
Yeah.
One of which your translator Tor can't actually translate. He is speaking old Terran Mandate.
I love some creepy aliens. I love some alien creepiness. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
How does one become vacant? You are a living organism, and you are vacant. I'll take the creepy down.
Let me check something. And Percy is actually going to text Acid words to the effect of, "Hey, did you ever check us out for brain damage and as a result of using the QEDs?"
Percy gets a text back and says, "Yes, all the others are fine."
Percy will text back, "Thanks, XOXO." Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, and then turn back to the aliens and say, so I checked with the person who administered the memory devices, and apparently we have no brain damage that our technology can detect.
Now, here's a crazy thing that just crossed my mind. What happens if a QED is used on an entity, or someone with an entity being? I don't imagine that's humane, but
yeah, I suspect that
but we also don't have a QED anyways, do we?
Neither of these two is going to volunteer. Put it that way. Or rather, neither of these two is going to volunteer to have their memories removed. But I wonder how they interact with going into one.
You'd also have to figure out how to get their zombie brains into the correct brainwave state.
Yeah.
All right. So we need a living one, and of course that one's going to practically have to be well.
Yeah.
How tethered? Well, anyways, that's neither here nor there. But that's a future question I have.
In fairness, they have shown that not all of the Vega are out to get / ignore humanity.
And I'm going to wrap up your question about the Vacant with a little bit of exposition there.
Yes.
With a little bit of testing and just kind of playing around with it, the Vacant, you can fairly well confirm that Vacant is related to somebody's memories. I mean, you already kind of knew that, I think, but this confirms it. And they use terms such as, or language such as, there's nothing there to grasp, slippery. It definitely confirms for you that their sensing of you as living things, or what they consider to be living organic things that can be possessed, is related to your a person's buildup of memories. And when they say leaky brain pan, there's some additional clarification that they say that living organisms living organisms that have souls are always leaking memories into the infra world.
Okay. That explains it. That explains it. So leaky brain pan is like, it's a metaphysical leaky brain pan, not a literal leaky brain pan, and that is them confirming that we are living beings with souls.
Yeah.
Right.
Except
that
for
makes
you
more
guys.
sense.
You guys don't have souls. The vacant of you.
Yeah, I would say, do we? Yeah, I was gonna say, did we prove souls? Did we prove that we lost our souls?
We've put them in the QEDs, I think.
It's like a lich's phylactery, right? You just put your soul in a box.
Oh, yeah. Wait, do you think we'll reform our bodies if we? I don't know if anyone's ever tested dying after QED.
It's a little bit different from phylactery because I'm pretty sure we could smash one of them and go about a day.
I think a lich's phylactery can be smashed too.
We haven't. Has anyone tested it?
No, doesn't smashing the phylactery kill the lich, or?
No, it allows them to die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It basically makes them mortal again.
Okay. You know, if it turns.
Has this been tested?
If it turns out these are actually lich's phylacteries, Cassian is going to have some difficult decisions to make about Zoe's phylactery.
Yeah.
All right. We're a little bit past. Let's go ahead and take our break. Unless there's anything else you want to jump in real quick.
Yeah. Has Libra arrived yet? I want her to be part of the
Sure.
testing. Basically, like, as long as she's not going to freak out, I'll assure that everything is okay. We're not having troubles with the guests.
She powers up her arm.
Yeah, as an example of as an example of the powered arm was there, so that's pretty clearly for the zombies. Pretty clearly not a human, and yet Shrug has a soul.
Oh no. She's powering up her arm because you want her to get real close to the zombie.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Just Don't whole thing, please.
Same test, and Rule declares confidently that she has a soul. Or is otherwise not vacant.
Yeah.
Hey, what about Kevin's?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're just gonna start parading things.
Bring all the crew through, you know. This one got us. This one.
Let's do the Kevins after the break.
Yeah, later on. Yeah, I thought you were joking about the Kevins. But yeah, if
I mean, not really. I'm not even sure how that works.
Okay. But I mean, like, if Rule says that, yeah, she has a soul, I want to know how Libra reacts to that. Like, when Percy hears that, he will pointedly look at Libra just to see how she responds. Not pointedly, but.
I just think it would be really fascinating if they a distinction between the sapient androids and non-sapient.
Imagine how funny.
I mean, that's a detector right there.
Imagine how funny it would be if this turns out to be proof that that one of the Kevins is sapient.
Right. That too. There's all sorts of ways this could go.
But yeah, I want to know how Libra reacts to this one has a soul.
Yeah.
I'm going to need time on that one, so let's take that break first.
I was going to say maybe break.
Yeah, that's good. After the NPCs declare that the android has a soul.
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
a great. That's a great.
Fade to black commercial break.
Absolutely.
Let me bring us back into frame here. So how does Libra react to a zombie telling her that she has a soul?
A zombie sniffing her face and then going, "Yep, you have a soul."
She looks over at Percy and says, "What is this?"
So, these guys are Vega, who we met on the station. You remember the entities, right?
The one that threatens to possess, and did possess many other crew on that ship.
That one, yeah. Yeah, the one that apparently uses a soul-based method of possession. Looks over at the zombies. Like when I say soul-based. Yeah, they have a sense for that kind of thing. And they thought we were androids originally because, you know, the whole Vacant thing that other Vega was talking about. So I went, okay, let's bring in an android for them to compare to. and sort of
You used
gestures
me as a
at the zombies.
test.
In the same way that I used myself as a test, yeah.
Without telling me.
We might be a little reckless.
She cracks a small grin on seeing Percy struggle with this. It was a good test, but I would have liked you to have told me first.
Apologies, I didn't think of it.
It's okay. I know you are an excited puppy.
Did you come up with that, or did Acid first and you adopted it? You know what? No, it's not relevant.
She doesn't answer. Then, if I have a soul like others here, I can be possessed. I want to clarify one thing you said real quick, Viral. It didn't think that you were robots or androids because you were all vacant. It thought you were all robots or androids because it doesn't have that far of a sensory range beyond pure physics. Like,
right, okay.
It can see the area around it just by physics. But the whole soul thing, it had to get much closer than the other entity did.
Okay,
but that's just a quick clarification for you guys' future use. It's not terribly relevant here.
Yeah. Possibly due to age, possibly due to being stuck in the current bodies, who can say?
It's definitely because they're stuck. They can't possess anybody else. Their like sensing range for that is very limited, like centimeters.
Okay.
She has a thoughtful expression as much as her physical model android face can present. And she says, then I wonder what it means by a soul.
They mentioned something earlier about out of character, Dex, remind me real quick. So they said that like the leaking from the you are leaking from your brain pan is like a natural thing, and that was how they convinced themselves that we are still sapient, even though we don't have what the soul that we would cling on to for possession. Okay. In that case,
real quick, there was some comment about it leaking into the infraworld. Your memories leaking into the infraworld.
Yeah. In that case, Percy will say, honestly, not sure either. I think the Union research might have something on it. They probably would have looked into it, right? Maybe, I don't know. The rule said that that they can tell that we're still sapient because our memories are leaking into the infraworld, apparently. But we apparently feel like slippery and they can't get a grip because we don't have that built up continuation of experience that most things with memory have, which actually raises some really out of character. Dex, does Alzheimer's still exist? Has modern medicine managed that yet, or does it still exist?
I'd say modern medicine has more or less resolved that.
Okay, are there still degenerative neural conditions that could damage someone's memories in the future?
Yes, that's a better broad question. Diseases we have today are mostly resolved, but new things have taken their place.
New and exotic ones, okay. And then Percy will continue to Libra. They said like slippery and etc., which actually raises some really fucked up questions about people with like degenerative mental stuff that means that they lose their memories, or people with regular amnesia. Like,
where do these memories go? Where do these memories go?
Fuck, that's a good question, isn't it? He tilts his head a little bit towards the zombies and then... Fuck.
And your translator Torque translates it.
Das is set to bleep on expletives. I'm kidding. It might not be, but it's funny.
Well, I think, like, regardless of whether it was set to bleep on those,
she's hacked it. Right?
It isn't now. like whether or not someone set it to that before giving it to Das has fixed it.
I mean, first thing you do is turn off the profanity filter.
Look, and much the same way that soldiers who are under 21 in America are usually just waved by and allowed to have a drink, Das has committed crimes with us, or she has been there for the committing crimes by us that would get us all shot on sight. She's allowed to listen to people swear.
I wasn't even worried about Das. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
No.
It's just that particular one that she picked up had the profanity filter turned on. Somebody on your crew using a translator Torque turned it on.
Well, if it's like any other game, like any game, well, it tends to be on by default.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Somebody who is not super tech savvy hasn't figured out that there's a settings menu and has just put up with the frustration of not being able to listen to people swear in different languages.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, people who have lost them, I guess, they're defining a soul as having memories to look back on and the ability to look back on them and say, that's me. I guess.
Yeah, but I bet there's edge cases still.
I don't fucking know, man. I should think.
Did you just call them Z cases?
Edge cases.
Yeah, I said edge cases.
Oh, okay. Because a Z case would be a fantastic way of describing a zombie. That's a little bit loopy.
I've got a Z case here.
But yeah, as I said, I don't fucking know, man. I shoot things for a living.
It brings an interesting perspective into the idea of consciousness. Is it as simple as being able to look back on a life and feel something at the experiences? Am I more conscious than you?
That is a hell of a question. And another hell of a question is, am I more conscious when I'm plugged into a QED because I have a broader range of experiences to look back to? Or am I a different enough person that doesn't count? Am I more conscious plugged into my own QED than I am plugged into someone else's than I am not plugged into one? Man, I'm going to be thinking about this for a while now. Fuck. Now, surely some of the nerds at Union, there is no way that none of them thought of this and went, I'm curious about this, right? Surely there's no way.
Well, regarding that, Rule is having a small little crisis of his own at this conversation, and he interrupts to ask, were all of the people on that station also human? Living?
Oh.
Right, they... That's a fair point, actually. They probably thought that it was crewed by androids because they never got close enough to Hated Boy to know that they were human. And that's probably why they didn't give a shit about it being blown up.
It's a really intense line of questioning.
Honesty is, I think, the best policy here. We can't know for sure, but it's safe to assume that it was mostly, if not all, humans. Yeah.
This one comes from Prue. Did you say you killed them all? Destroyed the station?
Yes.
And Rule clarifies that he knew some of them were living, but didn't think that they all were. And he is sad for the loss of those human lives.
You're right. It is sad. I could offer reasons, justifications, excuses, I guess, but doesn't change the fact that this morning that was a station full of living, breathing humans, and now it's a debris cloud.
Yeah. Rule would like some time.
Understandable.
The Kevins arrive.
Fuck. No, I'll just wave them back out later. Probably not wave them out, but like the Kevins are trained in hand signals, right?
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
signal full retreat.
Okay, yeah, you can get them out without incident. Does everyone leave?
Before we go, I will say to the Vega that let me think for a moment. Let's go with I understand if this means that they see us differently. If they want to talk about it, I or anyone else can. Or if they don't want to talk about it, it's valid too. They do not have reason to fear us, not because of like any help or information that they've given us, but just because, you know, they're not like they are not a threat where we need to strike first. That's actually probably not the best way of wording it. Fuck it, it's close enough. And that we're not going to keep them here. We didn't take them off the station to like keep them as an information source that we could pump, because they are also living things, and
we're not entirely bad people.
Look, I'm just saying, if we can explain it to literal aliens, then we can explain it to someone else, to humans. If we can convince an alien that we're in the moral grey field, then yeah, I don't really have a nice way of topping that off, so I'll just leave it somewhere along those lines.
Well, Prue waves Percy off and says that they learned from their hosts that who were soldiers that these things happen, and so just give Rule a little bit of time. He's a little bit more sensitive to the humans. But
yeah, for now we'll go.
Yeah. All right. You are in orbit around March.
Fuck. Okay, who's ready for the next diplomatic incident? Somebody else take point on Eileen. I try. I've done my bit for the day.
Eileen is a diplomatic incident.
Oh God. You know what the exasperating part of it is? The best way for us to find something like what we're looking for, it's probably going to be to ask Cassian if he knows someone. Like, we had some trouble with the cameras. One of our people would like some like high-end reconstructive surgery stuff done so that they can, go out in public. Without clarifying who. Independently, Eileen is alive. Unrelated. Trust. Actually, no. Maybe we don't need to mention that. Maybe we don't need to mention that.
This
yeah,
would
no, probably best not.
be a good time to decide what you actually do want Cassian to know.
Yeah. How do we feel about that?
And do you want to include Eileen in that conversation?
Hmm. Do we know if Eileen has a stance on this?
I'd be curious. Well, gosh dang, getting touched Zoe's always a pain, isn't it?
Wait, what was that? Do what?
Getting in touch with Zoe. I was like, I'm actually kind of more curious what Zoe's take is.
Oh, getting in touch with her without Cassian knowing is a pain, yes.
I mean, some people delight in that, though.
Her security has been beat twice, and the second time at least didn't get reported back, didn't get discovered. So in theory, it should be no more difficult than it was last time.
Which only involved Koana making a fool of herself publicly.
Which required Elise to use her bounty hunting skill. Spend I believe it was at least an hour. Spend a couple hours tracking and figuring out where she could capture Zoe effectively. Yeah, no, there were some very specific and difficult skills put to use to do that. It was not easy to get Zoe alone. And yes, Koana did have to make a fool of herself in public.
Yeah.
She had to spill a drink on somebody. And she felt so bad for it.
Tragic, really.
Yep. We'll think on that. I am curious to hear Zoe's take. Do we want to go to the effort of trying to get Zoe individually? I do kind of love that it's just like, question, 10 seconds of perfect silence.
There's another difficult question. Well, let's lead off with that question is, do you want to try and contact Zoe privately and let her know that mission successful, mom retrieved? Well, friend's mom retrieved?
Yeah, like, we have some sort of line for Zoe, don't we? Do we?
There's some sort of what?
Some sort of line to contact Zoe on, right?
Everything on Marge is monitored. Or everything on Lumiere is monitored.
True, but we have a DAS. Does that cancel out to we have a line to contact Zoe on?
It does not, because it still will register as a communication, and DAS can't, without putting in a significant effort, without making it your next adventure, DAS can't hack the comm grid to make one communication encrypted.
Yeah, fair.
If you already had some kind of encrypted comms set up that Zoe has on her that's separate from Lamiere's comm grid, that would be different.
Okay. You know what? Next time we next time we do get in touch with Zoe, we have got to cover the password to the Vaza Wi-Fi. Like, we have a comm server on the Vaza, right? We've got to give her the Wi-Fi password.
Do we even need to contact her? I feel like once word gets to her that we talked to Cassian about reporting about the job, she'll want to get into contact with us.
Well, I know, but it'd be curious what to get her opinion on what to tell her about Eileen, because the only reason Eileen's alive is because Zoe put us on this path.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I feel like that's the thing we can tell her when she seeks us out.
Yeah, Nox has got a point. If we get in touch with Cassian, because bear in mind, she came to the last briefing. If we talk to Cassian and we make no mention of whether Eileen is alive or not, because Cassian will assume that she's gone down with the ship, then Zoe will reach out to us either to go, is that actually true, or what the fuck, I thought you were professionals. Right? Like, we don't need to initiate contact with Zoe. She'll figure it out for us, probably. She's a curious creature. She is a curious creature.
Yeah. All right.
And
Yeah, I think.
And she's very convinced that she's a big fish when she's not, especially. Yeah. So Zoe will probably reach out to us. How much do we want to tell Cassian? I think we probably don't tell him that Eileen's alive because that will prompt Zoe to reach out to us. The information from the servers on the station.
Mm-hmm.
Do we mention that?
Let me tell you what was on that information, by the way.
Oh, we got to figure it out.
Right.
Cool.
So I didn't put in writing, so I can't just copy paste because this was basically pay data and not terribly relevant data. There's some stuff that's still relevant to what you guys are talking about, but it's not a whole lot more than you already have. It covers Union's encounter with the zombies, and some careful scrutiny of some of this data. You can see threads of where somebody with authorization has made decisions, but there's no trail of it. Like, you can see the signs that somebody made a decision to do something, but there is no trail. Which is consistent with how you've seen Mr. Jack operate. Mr. Jack operates outside of usual Union parameters with full force and authority. The Union hasn't made much progress on what they're supposed to be doing here. Nor Union and the scientists assembled haven't made much progress. There is plenty of commentary about starting from scratch, and how helpful it would be to have schematics for this thing that they got. Yes, you do.
Yeah, we do.
The piece of information that is probably of relevance to you is that this condenser that they had was scavenged from a ship in the graveyard. So there are theoretically other ships in the graveyard that may have fully assembled condensers, just ready and waiting for you to power them up.
Do they share their thoughts on whether they want to go ahead and do that, regardless of the risk?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether this warrants a salvage mission or a search and destroy mission.
There actually are comments among the scientists about wanting to see how this, legitimate comments, wanting to see this powered up so that they can measure the results, so that they can measure what happens. They need it for data, legitimately. But
That's
they've
that pursuit of knowledge.
Yep. They've They rankle against the orders that one woman gave who doesn't even know science, doesn't understand science. They're basically complaining about Mr. Jack saying, no, you will not power this up until you know how to power it down.
Which is fair.
Yeah. So, yeah, they haven't, I mean, you've got all their research notes. It's valuable information to have. It's just not anything new for you guys.
Yeah, it's new that Mr. Jack seems to actually be genuine about taking the risk seriously.
That's true. That's true. Yes, that is that is a good piece of new information.
That is an important new piece of information. The other important new piece of information is that we have information that they don't, which they are actively interested in.
You know what? I will take a step back there and acknowledge that this is the GM's curse. Yes, you put forth a puzzle and think, none of this is new. But no, that's fair. You guys don't have all the information that I have, and so this has been good information. I should put it down in writing.
Yeah. No. The GM's curse is that you think you know exactly how the piece of information is going to be used, and the players will find a way to either sell it, fuck it, or set it on fire.
Yes.
But yeah.
Or. Or. Don't you mean and?
It's maybe an and or.
Porque no los dos.
Depends on the nature of the information.
How can the player shoot themselves in the foot with this information? Or how can players draw a completely wrong conclusion from this information?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many ways players can muck it up.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think that see, it sounds like Union doesn't have like out of character, sounds like Union doesn't have much that's dangerous here, and also that they like we're not trying to use it for dangerous ends and could really do with the information that we have.
Yeah.
They did than that, unless
Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna say, unless we go real deep double bluff, where Mr. Jack knew we would come across this, and then see.
No. Like they seemed surprised about the turncoat, therefore they cannot have assumed that there was a turncoat there, therefore they cannot have assumed that a turncoat would help us get in, therefore they cannot have assumed that we would have been able to infiltrate. And like also, when was this kind of thing ever in our interests and their perception? And also, we've not been around for like a year. Yeah.
It's like I said, it's very unlikely that, like I said, that's really getting.
Look, unless Mr. Jack is literally a GMPC, which. But unless Mr. Jack is literally a GMPC.
Oh, maybe that's next long game to say, I pulled one over on you all.
Little did you know, I've been an adversarial GM the entire time.
Yeah.
It's PCs versus Mr. Jack. And I've got multiple Mr. Jacks because Mr. Jack is just a title.
Yeah. And they're all the DMPC.
You know what? I'll go. You know what? That's fair. On space station, just space station.
Can you repeat that?
I said I'll go. You know what? Fair. On station's just space station.
Oh.
On space station, like the un.
Like it's no longer in one piece. I have unstationed it. It's no longer a station. I blew it up.
I was thinking of the un. No. Yeah. The system is on, isn't it?
The system is on, yeah.
Fuck. Un as an undo.
Yeah. Well, that's what was confusing me. I was thinking the system. I assure you, I could overcomplicate things.
Yeah. Between the overcomplications, the different spelling, and the accent, this would have been a better joke in text.
Also, further proof of the adversarial GM deliberately making confusing names. How many Vega names can you remember? They all are the same, aren't they?
Blur from Overcom Persei 8.
Linda from Omicron Persei 6.
All right. So there was one more thing that I wanted to say. After it kind of following from the Eileen confusion, I want to point out that as to you as GM to players, these zombies are unreliable narrators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But I will be building worlds around this. By the way, I really like that. I've been watching a lot of Blood on the Clock Tower, which is great for if you get building crazy worlds in your head. That's the term they use a lot. Is they're building a world because if we assume this is true, but of course in that game, the fun thing with that game is the information is not necessarily true either. There's a lot of ways for you're someone a role that says that they get this information. There's a lot of ways that information could actually be false.
Interesting.
So even though they know they're that, yeah.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah. No, I like it. It feels like a really good evolution on like the whole like werewolf type games.
Yeah.
We're kind of Salem.
All right, let's get back to what are you going to tell Cassian? Unless you had more zombie conversation.
We need a little bit more time.
Yeah. Yeah. So the data from the station sounds like it is mostly just theories and frustration that they don't have anything more concrete to go off of. So I think it's pretty safe to say that we had an opportunity to get that and we took it. Yeah, which also means that filters down to Zoe, who will then likely be able to go, so you're able to get that but not save Eileen. Cassian said he wanted the data destroyed. Should we tell him regardless that we have it? Probably not, actually, come to think of it.
He did think that the data was dangerous.
Okay.
Or that their research was dangerous. And I am going to, I meant to point this out earlier, given further time and development, yes, research into this with a presumably working prototype of, not prototype, presumably working condenser that's just not powered. Yes, that could absolutely be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's also pre-tech, which you have the schematics and the knowledge to know that this thing can effectively create infinite power.
Which is dangerous economically.
Very dangerous for Union to have it.
Yeah.
Imagine the mining lasers they could create.
Imagine the combat lasers they could create.
They don't do combat lasers. They do ballistics.
Oh, well, that makes me feel so much better.
Mining explosives.
Yeah, we've got mining explosives.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Explosives. But yeah, so I don't know what
projectiles with unlimited power just screams railgun to me.
Yeah.
You know, like it being projectiles doesn't mean they can't make use of a bunch of power.
That's true.
Yeah. So, do we tell? I feel like we probably see. Nox has the same point that I have mining laser with unlimited power as combat laser. Yeah, I think we probably don't tell him that we've got the information because, like, we collected it rather than destroying it against your direct request. It's okay, we checked it, it's not dangerous. If they had working prototypes, it would have been dangerous, and then later we go on to give them working prototypes so that they can test further. Like, that does not put us in Cassian's good books at any point of that. So let's not tell him about the information. Yeah, I think
it's like this information wasn't dangerous because they didn't have a working thing. We have a working thing on the ship.
Yeah. If nothing else, it's a need to know thing, you know. Like if Cassian can find it, if Cassian knows, then that's another point that someone could find it out from. Yeah, let's just stick to giving Cassian the report on the mission that he asked us to do.
Okay.
If he outright asks about Eileen, do we confirm that she died, or do we demur? Like, do we say something like, yeah, the plan went to plan, which has the benefit of being technically true. The plan did go to plan.
Yeah, I just feel like Zoe's not going to be happy to hear that if we.
Yeah, at which point she will call us to privately go, "What the hell, you guys?" Which, you know, checks out.
Wow.
So yeah, just words to the effect of, yeah, we followed the plan. If he asks about Eileen, and otherwise we tell him what he wants to hear, basically, about the mission that he hired us for. Are we okay with that?
Yeah. I don't hear any disagreement. I'm going to point out that it is leaving out information. Technicalities aside, it will require a skill check to present all of that without raising any suspicions.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're almost certainly going to fail it if we're being tested by Cassian on insight, but you know,
there's a decent chance. Yeah.
It does also.
But there is a chance.
Does also beg the question: do you bring Das?
Yeah, because she was part of the group that Cassian hired for the job, and like part of the group that went to talk to him. So, yeah, we bring her for the report it.
She's also very easy to read.
You bring me and you lie, you ain't getting away with it.
Shit, you're right.
You know, like it's an advantage sometimes, but probably not here.
Okay, hear me out, right? Hear me out. We bring you, and then if Cassie and bristles at Zoe being there, like, did Cassie seem okay with Zoe being there last time at the negotiating table, or was he like a little bit unsure of it or uncomfortable with it, or whatever?
He had invited her.
Okay, I get it.
If I recall the presentation, I want to give you more than that. If I recall the dynamic well enough, this was kind of further setting an example for her of how to conduct a business.
Okay.
And when she stuck her foot in her mouth, raised some interested eyebrows from him, metaphorically. But I don't believe there was a presentation of him being annoyed or upset in any way.
Okay. So
when she tried to correct the parameters of the mission incorrectly.
Okay. So trying to couch it as like, hey, if you don't particularly want Zoe at the table, Das can go hang out with her, would probably not work.
It might, but it's
unlikely.
It does run into the. I mean, I shouldn't phrase it like that. It's a possibility. It might work. The only reason that there's even any check involved is because Zoe has been interacting with this side of how he runs business a bit more.
Yeah. Honestly, if he wants to show her this side of how he runs business, I don't think it's likely that we're going to get to remove her from the table. So I kind of just lean towards not bringing Das at all, honestly. If that's okay with you, Ginja?
Yeah.
Funny enough, I think that it would actually be a good way of getting Zoe alone. Now that I'm thinking about it.
See, that was my thought as well. But like,
yeah.
If Cassian is trying to bring her to the negotiating table, then us trying to remove her from the negotiating table is going to go weird, even if she's a relatively minor player in all of it. And by relatively minor player, I mean observer. It's still going to come across weird.
Yeah.
And manipulative. Unless we want to go there and like Das just makes up some excuse to Zoe about like, hey, like the last time we were here, as we were on the way out, you mentioned that tea that you wanted to show me. Pretending that it was some blend that you hadn't had time to make or whatever.
Let me pause you here, Viral. I think you're going a little too deep at this point into the specifics. Decide if you want to, as a group, decide if you want to try and have Das and Zoe drawn away at all. Just decide on that point first.
I'm in favor of that. I'm not sure it's going to work. I was trying to think, like, the reason I was trying to think of a plan is
well, think of the plan once you've decided whether you all want to do that or not.
Let me finish my sentence.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was trying to think of a plan because if I could come up with anything that remotely resembled a plan that I thought might work, then I'd be more in favor of trying it.
Okay.
Because if it fails, then that's going to come to the negotiating table, which is not great for us.
I totally understand that, but I want to prevent us from spinning wheels on it.
That's fair, yeah. Okay. Yeah, thoughts, gang? Do we leave Das or do we try and send her off with Zoe?
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna have the Zoe making contact thing anyway, so I don't know that it gains as much, and it does have the risk of not working, and then Das is there, and then we have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now it sounds like I've got everybody except for Das's meeting with Cassie, and you're going to stick with the report, and you're going to anticipate that Zoe will reach out to you after the meeting.
Yeah. At some point after the meeting, yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you going to ask about private body sculptors or somebody that can be that can do fully anonymous?
I think what we should do there is we should ask Zoe specifically, since we were in touch with Info Broker before. Presumably, like we assumed last time that she is in touch with an info broker, and we'll go, hey, could you reach out to your info broker and ask about X? And since that is just a complete assumption and a crock of bullshit on our part, she will hopefully read that means that we're using it as an excuse to talk to her individually.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be nice if we actually also got a lead on that, but I don't know.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Are there any other a plan?
Sorry.
It's a concept of a plan.
Oh no. Are there? Hopefully, you're better than that. Are there any other considerations or roleplay scenes that you want to have? We've been moving through the past few days a little bit quickly, and I want to make sure that you guys have time to have any scenes you need to have. All right. Let's move on with the meeting. If it takes that long to respond, I think there's nothing.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, there have been times when people have had responses and it just hasn't been after that long because I am the only one that yaps rapidly. like I'm ready to compete to get in.
Well, they can always bring it up later.
Yeah.
So it's become fairly rote and routine for you to gain authorization to land in your spot outside the city. There have, since you were last here, some pop-up landing lights have been installed. You now have your own landing space or parking space outside of House LaRue, the city.
Nice. I was winning. Go on.
I was just saying #winning.
Okay. I was going to say that I was actually just about to ask jokingly what we need to do to get a regular parking spot here.
Well, you've got one. You'll learn soon enough that deeper studies have been done. Like they obviously inspected the area according to their maps, their geological maps, when you first wanted to land, and determined that it was safe enough. But they've done a full-on study now and determined that this is safe. They've installed wiring to get out to the lights, underground, of course. And in keeping with Lamiere's beauty standards, they are tasteful bushes. It's almost like you're landing in a little garden now. And when you're coming down, the lights rise up out of the bushes. They're hidden away, and just give you a land here indicator. You're still a good distance from the city. And by a good distance, I mean a good distance as far as walking, not driving. Say 100, 150 meters. But on your landing, as you're approaching, you're asked if you want a car sent to you, or if you'll be registering a particular vehicle to drive in the city. Basically kind of fast-tracking all the normal bureaucratic stuff and administrative stuff that you would have to go through bringing an external car into the city. Or having an Uber driver there to meet you. Probably an Uber not driver.
I'll register my hoverbike.
Okay, yeah.
You do have a hoverbike, but unless it's like a 5-person deal, I think the rest of us are okay with just, walking.
Yeah, I'll do you.
All right, you don't even want an Uber not driver sent to you?
Oh, wait. I just realized that I instinctively saying walking.
You did say walking, yes. That's right. You are an Englander who walks everywhere. Not necessarily everywhere.
I am, first of all, not an Englander.
I was thinking that was coming. Yep.
Oh, really?
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah.
I know.
No,
right?
Yeah, no, that's like about as accurate as calling you a Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, are you in Ireland or
Scotland.
Wales? Scotland. Scotland, right? Ireland is the island. That's how I remembered it. Is Ireland sounds like Ireland? You're in Scotland. Okay.
Yep.
You know, I met someone from that was from Scotland at a wedding last night.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
I did forget that you were in Scotland. I apologize, Viral.
It's okay. Foreigners get it wrong all the time.
Well, I just didn't remember. I mean, like, I do know that there's the difference. I just forgot that you were. Yeah. Are you Scottish or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just forgot that you were Scottish.
Isn't thick enough.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. A typical Australian mistake to make.
Nice.
But yeah. Also, not just England, just a person who is used to being able to walk to local conveyances. But also, I did mean to say yes to the Uber. I'm not sure what happened between brain and mouth there.
Fair enough. Well, you get transportation, and you get dropped off, somewhere community center. It's the same kind of clandestine runaround to get you to the estate, where you go into a house that's not occupied, and a vehicle picks you up in the garage. This is similar to how you've been taken to Cassian's estate every time. You've never driven there yourself. You've always been driven there after going to some unowned or unoccupied place and picked up.
So is that a no on riding my hoverbike there?
That is a no on riding your hoverbike there.
I mean, you can ride the hoverbike alongside. Up to you.
No. I think the point is that's not allowed.
Fair.
That is not allowed. Cassian
I could physically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, until I get shot or something.
It's okay. You die pretty hard.
Cassian is.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not likely to die that quick.
No, but Cassian is taking very cautious precautions, to make sure that he is never seen associating with the Raza.
Which, fair.
Or that he limits it as much as possible. Like, obviously, he's been involved in getting the Raza up on the station, but he is trying to limit his exposure as much as possible.
He needs to maintain plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which gets very exhausting.
A bit, yeah.
It almost certainly is for the characters. That's why I'm trying to fast track through it, because it's a little exhausting to me too.
I'm not talking about in the game. I'm talking about people that do rely on plausible deniability all the time. It's like they're doing that, or it's like, but it's like you can't prove it. You mean.
Yeah,
because they hide behind that thin veil. Like they say that one thing. Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. All right. You sit down at his estate again, out in the open, at a table with a sunshade over it. Finger sandwiches, the light snacks and drinks provided, and he approaches with Zoe again. She is dressed a little bit more smartly this time. She's wearing more kind of business pantsuit style.
I just wanted, Doug, mentioned before. Now the car's probably bugged.
It could have been said before if it's.
Yeah. It's like, I just want to say, it's like, you think it'll be too obvious to just give Zoe a wink?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I won't do that then.
All right, and who is making the charisma talk check to give your report to Cassian without giving any indication that you're leaving out some small details?
I got a +0.
I have +1 charisma. What do I have in talk? Do I have neutral talk? No, I have +1 in talk as well. I'm a total +2. Wouldn't mind a help roll from someone else because I'm up against Cassian fucking LaRue.
I can provide the technical details of the station blowing up.
Okay. Yeah, I will allow that as something that Doug can focus on without thinking about all the other things you're leaving out, and something that just kind of takes up airspace and distracts. It adds noise.
Yeah.
So I can go ahead and roll. It's gonna be a charisma fix though.
Yeah, sure. That's a 1. It's a difference of 1. It's
It's
not terrible.
Not bad.
All right.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't have to beat the DC.
Oh, you do
I
have to.
I do.
You do, yeah.
I guess. Well, if it's contested, though, is the question.
Yes. No, this is just a straight roll.
Okay.
It also does give you this little bit of information that gives you a +1 viral.
Hey. This might be possible then.
Now, much as I wish I could just get bogged down in the details of how we conducted the attack and make it a shoot charisma check, I suspect that's not going to fly.
It's not going to fly.
Sorry, I already took that.
I mean, if it's charisma, I could shoot. Yeah, it was worth a shot. If you don't ask, you don't get it, right.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it'll be terrible if we fail. I think it'll be quite interesting if we fail.
It will not end the campaign.
I mean, I already have my excuse for, I'm sorry, here's what we aren't telling you, ready for if we fail. But
it won't end the campaign, but you will need to roll new characters.
Yes. No, it's fine. We'll just take over as a crew members. There's enough of them.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. I don't think Cassian's capable of rolling that low.
So I'll give you the benefit of Elisa's reroll. The only reason that I wasn't volunteering for Elise to make the roll is because I don't think she would handle it this way.
Yeah, and like she would fucking say something incendiary or provocative.
She's gonna provoke him.
She'd start a fight.
But you can have her reroll.
Okay. You are a kind and magnanimous god, and I'm about to roll an R6.
I'm hoping you do.
Stares at dice where it rolled a 6.
I mean, it was a 6 on the dice. Yeah, you went wrong. Just a slightly different 6.
That does get you up to a 9.
Yeah, which is possible for him to lose to.
Well, this isn't the contested check.
He's doing his fixed DC. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was contested. I mean,
No, this wasn't contested. This was a flat roll against a DC.
Okay. I suspect that's
did
not
assume
good
it
enough.
would be contested. But...
What's that?
I suspect that's not good enough.
Oh, I had definitely assumed it would be contested. But...
Yeah, I would have had to wait and roll his before knowing if you added a +1.
In fairness, we should have realized that. Yeah.
So he receives the report from you. There's no outward indication that he has picked up anything amiss. Of course, you may also roll a wisdom notice check on that if you want.
I'd like to try.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope. No outward indication that thing has gone amiss. By the way, the reason that this would you guys are right. This normally would be contested checks. The reason I'm choosing and setting a DC instead is to obfuscate the gameplay of it, basically.
So, yeah.
If I were to roll something after you rolled that, then there's every reason to believe, oh well, he is detecting something. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could GM roll it.
I could.
He knows now. He set a DC. He knows.
Yeah.
I'd also, in a different way, he knows.
Do you think he knows? He knows.
And so he thanks you for completing this job. And I believe that is all you wanted to discuss with him. You were going to bring up the cyberneticist with Zoe.
Yeah, I think that is about the extent of what we wanted to talk to him about. Yeah.
He engages.
Unless there's anything else.
He engages in some pleasantries and kind of just finish. He finishes your meeting with a social visit.
Nice.
Zoe talks about some of the civil engineering, social engineering. No, that's not even right either. Some of the civil projects that she's gotten involved in.
Okay.
In the city, and she is, obviously what she's telling you is that she's helping to improve lives in the city. She's taken up a project in which she's supporting artistic endeavors that have been rejected by other apprenticeship things, giving them a second opportunity.
Honestly, I don't think it's even so much about the about what it is that she's doing, so much that it's about the fact that she's getting to do things.
Yeah, she leaks a little bit of that excitement.
Nice.
And Cassian seems fairly proud of her for it.
And I will do my best to pretend to be interested in the things that I'm not genuinely interested in, which I assume isn't all of it. Like, I assume there's some interesting stuff, and I'll pretend to be interested in the rest of it as best I can. She could probably tell. It's okay.
And you are escorted away with the same clandestine, plausible deniability runaround. And left to your own devices. Now, were you planning to stay in the city and give her some time to contact you, or were you anticipating leaving immediately? And Nox, do you want to speak up here?
Do we have like a time limit on Eileen's thing? I don't feel like we do.
Not especially. We could spend some time planetside, just like looking for an cybernetist for Eileen or whatever. We could spend some time planetside doing that. Assuming nobody is like chomping at the bit to get to Audrima, which is still where we are going next ultimately.
I think somebody's chomping at the bit to get to Eargargy.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to get.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Wonder who.
Das, what could you possibly want over there? You interested in aliens? Yep, we do.
Also, aliens or some shit. But we should really get them.
Yeah.
That last one's more justification.
But yeah. See, your reason for wanting to go is good. It's just that, like, when we leave this planet, Eileen's going through a bit of a hissy fit, and it's going to be harder for Zoe to catch up with us. Also, going to be harder for us to justify coming back here. Wait, Dex, what was it that we asked for from Cassian again as our payment for this job?
You wanted trader favors.
Okay.
You asked for limited pay, and wanted to kind of trade in future favors.
Okay. Yeah, Shit, discharging that favor is probably like the most plausible reason that we would come back here then.
I mean, this is also kind of a central point to most of the outlying planets in the sector. Every time we cross, we're probably going to stop by March.
Yeah, it's true. For all we know, we might be headed to fucking... What's it called? The empire that Myokin came from.
Oh yeah, we still need to get there at some point.
Yeah, we still need to go there sometime. That could be where we're going next, and that'll just bring us by here as well.
almost like this place is situated such that it's a
and that's
crossroads
why,
of sorts.
and that's why it's such a trade power. Yeah, imagine. Yeah, in that case, you know what? We will. How does this sound? We do a bit of like preliminary groundwork, looking for someone like what Eileen wants, just on the off chance that there is an incredibly easy win here. And therefore Zoe gets overnight to get in touch with us and go, yo, what the fuck?
Okay.
Meet up, I want to shout at you. If she doesn't, then we... Fuck. I was gonna say that we leave Eileen here because we have another pressing thing, but we will be back as soon as we can, but she's not gonna like that.
Oh,
Yeah, we
she's
can't
not.
do that.
She
Exactly.
has no intention of leaving this planet on a ship with you.
Exactly,
I thought she was gonna
Yeah.
stay here anyways, wasn't she?
Yeah, no, yeah, but like us
But
saying...
without having her situation dealt with.
No, what I mean is, like, we can't deal with the situation right now. We will be back to deal with it as soon as we can. She's not gonna like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
delaying.
correct there.
Yeah. Fuck.
But if you do it, she'll deal with it. She has shown a willingness to roll with the punches and do what she feels needs to be done.
Mm.
Even if that is sometimes getting blown up on a station.
How do we feel? Like we need to deal with Eileen's thing before we go, or she's gonna get majorly pissed. It would be nice to spend some time here so that Zoe has time to reach out to us. It would also be nice to get going to Eargargy as fast as possible. How do we square the circle?
I mean, yeah, that is two competing things, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're at.
I mean,
626 and a half is what I've written in my notes.
How long do we intend to stay in March?
How long's a piece of string?
String theory?
I'm gonna say a week long. A piece of string is a week long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is how you know Meowkin's an American. He didn't get that one. Like British slang for basically how long is an arbitrarily long thing. Basically, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm determining that the length of that arbitrary thing is 1 week.
Okay.
At least one day. I don't know. I don't how much of a hurry are we in to get to? Was that anything more than just picking up Asta or trying to get there before Asta does?
I don't think it was anything else.
It's entirely.
Okay. Well, I'm not entirely convinced that's a priority relative to sorting out Eileen's situation.
Nox cares about it. I don't know how much Meowkin cares about it, but Nox cares about it.
I appreciate that. I mean, it is an amusing thing to do. I just don't know that it should be the deciding factor here.
I will stir the waters to become more turbulent by pointing out that you do have a favor from Cassian.
What are you implying?
I'm sure he could find somebody that does that.
True, but then you would ask why.
As I said, turbulent waters.
And then it's more like,
yeah,
I mean, I guess in that case we'd be effectively trading our favor with Cassian for a favor with Zoe, and one of those has a little bit more power than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, and like.
But if you want to feel good about ourselves, though, you know.
Not that much. I feel like
right.
the favor with Cassian should be saved for something that we could not do ourselves.
Yeah.
In a realistic time frame.
How difficult is it to come across? What is it? The pharmaceuticals that are also like genetic stuff.
You're talking about the pre-tech cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, pre-tech cosmetics.
If it can beat TL4 sensors, then it would still be TL5, right?
Tailored genetics or tailored cosmetics are TL5.
They are TL5. They actually do change your genetics, but I have ruled in the past, I'm not doing this just to be difficult, that they're effectively temporary. I know the book says permanent, but I've ruled in the past that they're temporary.
Okay.
So it could be a temporary solution. Then to answer your question, how difficult...
I forgot it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was way back near the beginning of, not beginning, but early campaign 2 of Vacant.
Yeah.
Does make me...
Hang on, let me actually answer their question real quick. Sorry, Nox. The pre-tech cosmetics are not available on the open market. It is something that you'd probably need to pull favors or pay extra for from a black market or medical supply. It's not going to be impossible or even really that difficult for you to get your hands on them with your resources, but you just can't go into Walmart and buy them.
That's not too bad. We could use that as a stopgap, right, until we can come back and help properly. Or I do wonder.
If it's not a permanent solution, I don't think it'll work.
Sure, but if we need how long will it take you to get to Ear Guardian back? Scary question. Scary question.
Yeah, wait. Remember who you're asking here.
Yeah, I know. But then it's not just straight to Ear Guardian back, because we're going to spend an undefined amount of time in Ultramar as well, aren't we?
That is the intent.
Yeah. And combining somebody who is really good at that kind of appearance reconstructive surgery with TL5 temporary cosmetics probably wouldn't work to make them permanent, because she doesn't have TL5 equipment.
Wait, can you repeat that? Combining what?
I said combining Riley, who is really good at this kind of cosmetic stuff, with TL5 temporary cosmetics probably wouldn't work, because Riley doesn't have TL5 equipment with which to interact with the cosmetic.
No, it really is the TL5 that's getting thrown there. Yeah. That's your biggest obstacle, is the TL5.
Yeah.
And it's something that Riley might be able to do, or let me say, not even might, would be able to do with time and some equipment expenditure. It's just that, a cyberneticist that's capable of doing TL5 has a shop with the necessary equipment.
Yeah. Is that a thing? Like, can you find people that just have shops with TL5 equipment on March? I suppose if you can find them anywhere.
Oh yeah. March specifically. March is actually a TL5 planet.
Oh, okay, that makes it easier then.
Yeah, March specifically, you can find people with TL5 capabilities here and there. They're not commonplace, but it's not like going to the black market and selling your soul.
Okay, that's less bad than I thought then. Okay, let's spend a couple of days here looking then, which, if we split up to look at different places, we will cover more ground. I know that sounds like a Scooby-Doo, but also it makes it easier for Zoe to engage with one of his individual. Yeah, no, that does just make Zoe sound like a Scooby-Doo villain, doesn't it?
So let me be clear, so there's no misunderstanding. Spending a couple days here will mean that you do not reach Ear Guardian before Asta.
No, how much do you care about it? How much does Milken care about it?
I will give up on it.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer.
I will say, for my purposes as GM, this goal has been fantastic for creating a little bit of drama and tension where I didn't expect it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you stand on that, Nox?
I would like to do it because it's funny. Myokin has made a claim and would like to be able to keep that claim, but obviously it's not as important as, actual stuff.
Okay. And Dex, you said before that reintegrating the info drive with the Vaza would make it very undeniably the Vaza, right?
Yes, because
because it has to be drive 6.
Yeah, it's
Right,
not the
yeah,
infra drive itself; it's the drive
Right.
6.
Right. Never mind then. Never mind.
It would take time to do that, anyways.
I know. I know. I know. I have this.
Go ahead.
So like we spend the rest of the day having a cursory scout around. I was hoping to be able to ask Zoe about it on the way out of the LaRue estate, but we didn't. We kind of got ushered out. So yeah, we'll have a look around for the rest of the day, and if we don't either get in touch with Zoe or find Ethan, shit. See, I want to say then we'll set off rear Gargi, but it just feels incredibly tactically suboptimal to force those words past my lips.
Like I said, not the biggest deal. It's not the biggest deal.
Shit.
Still, it is.
Dex, you are the GM. Dex, you're the GM. Is there something obvious that I'm missing that you can hint at?
No, I mean, well, I take that back. The something obvious is that yes, we all want Nox to have this victory. It's a stated goal for them, for their character here. But you have to balance how much do you want to give that stated goal versus the things that are occurring in the world, and what are your characters going to do?
Well, and essentially this is how well do we want to live up to our promise to Eileen, right?
Yeah, because come to think of it, Percy does feel more like responsibility towards the Eileen thing than he does about Myoka being a speed demon and meeting up with Asta. Because like Asta knew she was setting off independently for a bit. It's funny as hell. It would be funny as hell to be there when she is, but Percy wouldn't go. Okay, let's drop the Eileen thing. So
also worth making the point that it is actually impossible, barring anything that your characters don't know about, for you to get from March to Irgarji in 1.5 days, which is all you've got left.
Okay, well, if you'd led with that, it would have been an easy decision. Like, would you like to do this literally impossible thing, or this thing that you said you would do that is very possible? Like, this is way more of a question, you know?
Fair enough. I should have pointed that out. It is effectively 0.6 days per hex for how fast Kana travels.
Yeah, okay, see, I thought we were picking between two possible courses of action. Okay, yeah, I guess we will stick around, and spend some time looking for a TL5 cyberneticist for Eileen, if we're okay with that.
Okay.
Actually, let me see.
We're getting near the end of the session, but I think we can wrap things up in a few minutes.
Sorry, Nox.
As far as I'm aware, we still have these in our cargo hold.
Okay. Those
unless those are sold within.
Those would actually take some more time to sell. 3 days, I believe I said that.
Yeah. I would say if we were already hanging around, but it's obviously a very low priority.
You can start putting some feelers out, but Zoe does get a hold of you very quickly.
Yeah, that tracks.
You are.
Is she waiting to get back to the ship?
I don't think she even waits until you get back to the ship.
So, I mean, is she waiting at the ship?
Yeah, I was asking.
Oh,
she was already there.
No, there's no way she'd be let out beside the city without guard.
Yeah, fair.
Let.
She has a LaRue. Oh dear.
You are invited. Like, you don't get contacted by Zoe, but you're invited. Let me rephrase this. You have won a free, all-inclusive luxury lunch at the Golden Palisade. It almost looks like a scam email.
How fortunate, huh? How fortunate that we should just so happen to win an offer to go to lunch, which I don't remember is entering at a place that is definitely the kind of place Zoe would go.
Yeah, no, that's spam. Just delete that.
Right. Oh dear. Unironically, that actually does it actually make it past the spam filter?
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I feel like we're really scratching our head is how it got back. Like it's like, hey, Dax, how did this get past the spam filter?
Yeah.
It's so clearly spam.
Yeah. And then you see the email is from loizaru@gmail.com.
No, it's from the establishment. There are no risky clicks, no risky links. Everything is spelled properly, good grammar. And it does not have Hilton anywhere in the email. Which is a clear sign of scam. Anything Hilton is a scam. Just amazing that they let that get that far.
Oh. I'm not in the loop on that.
Oh, you've never gotten emails for the Hilton timeshares?
Oh.
They're always
wait,
Hilton.
I didn't even know. I didn't know Hilton had timeshares.
I don't think they.
Hilton hotels.
I don't think they do. I think it's what's used.
Huh.
By the scammers.
Anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, no, but for all intents and purposes, according to Lamiera's comm grid, is a legitimate email, and your ship doesn't capture it as a spam either because it came from the place that you're being invited to, and the link goes to the correct website, which advertises highly advertises how exclusive and private this location is. Yeah. Conspiratorial minds might think that somebody's luring you into a trap, or might just be Zoe LaRue.
Might just be Zoe.
Yeah.
We may never know.
In fairness, there is a possibility that Zoe is luring us into a trap, thinking that if we weren't competent enough to save Eileen, we aren't competent enough to escape the trap.
I do think I have to take back. I think it does take a couple hours for you to get this. So if you've gone straight back to your ship, then yeah, you're back at your ship.
Nah, I think we would have gone out to the cybernetics, looking for the cybernetics thing.
Right. Yes. Yeah, you were starting to make some headway into that when you got this invitation. And it's, conveniently, it's within the next half hour. So
my God, how serendipitous. How did this get through the spam filter?
Do you all go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we'll bring Elise with us just on the off chance that Jacqueline's here next week.
Okay.
I've always wanted to win a prize.
Yeah.
Alright, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, it is Zoe LaRue, alone.
Really?
She has changed into a nice dress, questionable for her age, but not inappropriate. And she looks at you with restrained interest as you enter the privacy booth, and starts off with, I've ordered lunch for you. Took your time getting here. Where is Eileen?
He's very demanding.
Yeah, and it's in response to that, Percy will contemplate for a moment and then go, what's for lunch?
You're gonna drag it out.
What's for lunch?
Yeah.
Pinches her lips, and then she She does actually engage in the small talk that Cassian typically engages in prior to talking business.
Doug will wink at her.
I mean, if she literally
Okay.
just tells me what's for lunch to me, like I'm making a point. If she literally just tells us what's for lunch, I will get straight down to business.
No, she.
Okay. Doug's already giving away the game.
Yeah, Doug's giving away the game, and she is taking cues from her father. Going straight to business didn't work, so she is going to do things the way he does them. She is, as you've observed, less patient than him.
Dix, let me clarify. As soon as she says what's for lunch, I will get down to business. I was just making a point that she is going more straight down to business than we are, and we are pretty straight down to business people.
Right. My misunderstanding was that she doesn't just tell you what's for lunch. She starts making small talk.
Okay.
Not realizing that he was being very literal.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I didn't want to go down the fucking labyrinth of small talk. I was just making a point about she's being very forceful.
Okay. Well, it has inspired her to go into the labyrinth of small talk, which she entertains for a few minutes. While she is also she does get around to telling you what she's ordered, and says that she believes these choices fit your personal flavor preferences.
Oh, good enough for me. She's around. You don't need to know the specifics, but she's on the planet.
When can Sasha see her?
Does Sasha want to see her?
She doesn't yet, but she will.
Are you allowed to make that decision for them? We spoke with Eileen about it. Sounds like it's a pretty big gap, and one that maybe they shouldn't be pushed into trying to cross themselves.
It's not either of their choices.
Well, at least not right this moment.
I grew up without a mom, and I think, and
I was about to say,
I don't think she should have to. They're too emotional. They don't know what's best for them.
Well,
You have to agree that
the right way to.
Well, you have.
I don't think that's the right way to approach it.
But you have to agree that they're both too close to it. They can't see the bigger picture where they are.
Alright, tell me this then, Zoe. By that logic, should I drop everything and go see my son then? Or would that cause problems?
You should go see your son as soon as you can. He needs a dad too.
He might have one. I don't know. I literally never got to meet him.
You need more facts then. You need to know more what the situation is. I know what this situation is.
Do you?
Yeah. Dad doesn't like Mom, and Dad has poisoned Sasha against Mom.
And Mom believes that Dad is better for her daughter than she is.
That's dumb.
Be that as it may, is what she thinks. Are you allowed to tell someone, no, your thoughts are wrong? Your feelings are wrong?
You shouldn't tell someone their feelings are wrong, but they can still be wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And Shane, like, you can think it's wrong. I can even agree it's wrong. But they're the ones that, like, you can't logic someone out of something that they didn't logic their way into, you know? Like if it would intellectually.
Make sense.
Sure it does. I mean, look at me trying to logically convince you that this is not, that forcing them into it isn't a great idea, but you've decided in your heart that it is. It's not working, is it?
That's because you're wrong, and I know that.
Ah, this is fun.
You're arguing with a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh dear.
One who's been through some things too.
And we haven't.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you've only got one of your own 17-year-old. Ask her.
I'm not convinced that she wouldn't side with Zoe. Which is kind of undermining my argument.
Is Das there, by the way?
Genja?
I think we may have lost Ginja. I probably shouldn't have let this session go long, knowing that Ginja's not feeling well.
Perhaps, yeah.
Why don't we reach a reasonable stopping point, and we'll pick up with further. So yeah, go ahead, Viral.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could leave it off on Zoe going. We'll talk more about that later. What about the data? That seems pretty natural.
Yeah, sure. Sure. And we can end it there. That way we've got a natural starting point for next session. You want to talk to Zoe about what to do with the data, if anything.
What data? We didn't manage to get the data. Sorry, it was difficult. It exploded.
Oh, right. You can certainly we can do that next session, and then we can circle back around to conversation about Eileen.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Apologies if you hear this later, Ginja. I apologize. I was inconsiderate and didn't think about, hey, Ginja's not feeling great. Let's go ahead and leave the session normal length, if not short. I heard a grunt. Let me put it on the stream ending card here. And we shifted gears.